respectfully, you know, it was a lot of difference of opinions and stuff like that. I had to touch on the Tuskegee thing as well yesterday, man. I had to touch up on that. I see you had, I think, a space with Judge Joe Brown, them and Dana. They was talking about it as well too. Like they was talking about the same topics we was talking about last night. They was talking about Dion and Tuskegee and stuff like that. So I had to go ahead and touch up on it, and I definitely got to touch up on this Tatiana Jefferson topic tonight as well too, man. It's just we have so many crazy different things going on in the world and whatnot, and this poor sister here just, I mean, we getting to the point, man, where black women are getting gunned down in their own damn house. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. It's the same thing with black men. You know, with black men, you know, it's always been pretty much us getting
yeah,
gunned down. But see now, like you said, black women being added right into it. See, these race soldiers don't care, man. Because I mean, if you look at all the videos that are out there, we have seen these same white male police officers beating up on females, black females, now women,
oh yeah,
beating on them, pouncing on them like they men.
you ain't
And
lying.
and I get so angry, man. Like, man, I'm like, oh my God, if I was there, man, I had to jump in because you just can't stand there and watch men beat up on women. And that's what you see with these guys. These guys be pouncing on black women like they men.
And a Tatiana Jefferson nephew, I believe he was testifying and stuff, and he was like, what? He was 8 years old at the time. I believe the little fella now is about 11. So he was speaking so eloquently just from the little bit I heard. I know this. I know this got to message this young kid up to see something like that take place and whatnot. Let me give a shout out to my co-host Ray, one of my co-hosts Ray up in the spot. Shout out to you, Chase, baby sister, goddess. Yeah, we're gonna go in tonight, man. We're gonna have once again another good conversation. Y'all know we normally like to touch upon various topics, but I felt like this one topic in particular would be, you know, a really good topic to actually speak on it. So I just want to go ahead and get everybody's thoughts and views and stuff like that. And like everybody that was up in the space last night, man, peace to y'all. Like I said, that was a good space. I mean, and that's not to say that that space was any better than other because all of them be good, but when you just have that, yeah, man, when you had that amount of different speakers coming up in there and everybody just speaking and whatnot, and so many different viewpoints and things like that. Shout out to Leon and Jay also coming up in the spot too, man. This thing with a Tatiana Jefferson, this is a powder keg right here. This is a powder keg. Yeah,
Yes,
this is a.
because see, we're seeing more and more of this now happening in all these type cases with these police officers where they try to stack these juries
Yeah,
with pretty much all white people.
all white jury. Damn, and this one wasn't all white, but it was majority white and minorities. Now they can have minorities on it, but they can't have any black people in the damn jury. And this is the thing, like I say, man, when it's concerning us and people, we need to start looking at it, talk about a jury of our peers and stuff. We need to start standing up and be like, look, a jury of my peers is going to look something like me as well, too. So if the jury's lily white or the jury's got everybody else, every other ethnic group in the world in there, but my people aren't in there, then that's not a jury of my peers. That's not a jury of my peers. So
That's right. Hey, I was gonna say though, what did I tell you about the Dion? I told you to make sure you chose Dion as the number one topic, and it was definitely that. It was the number one topic. Everybody's been talking about it.
see, they still talking about it. Like, they still. What's up, Ray? I heard you trying to say something. What's going on, Ray?
I was gonna say you gotta be careful, man. You fuck around and ask for a jury of your peers, Stephen A. Smith and Justin Peterson end up on one of your peers.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
And Charles Barkley.
You ain't lying, baby sister. I see you up in the space. How you doing tonight, baby sister? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Decent reparations like fucking yesterday. It should have been done. But I thought that the attorneys approve the jurors, you know, when they go through it. So, you know, isn't that kind of side eye that they, you know, allowed these jurors to be picked and served? And then the other thing is, you know, when a white supremacist, which I don't even know what that word is about, because it's like visions of grandeur, you know, they just tripping because nobody's superior. But when they are always saying to us, you know, I'm not racist, I love everybody, I have a black person that lives on my street, I'm not racist, then why can't we find 12 of them? You understand what I'm saying? Why is there never 12 of these so-called, you know, non-racist? But again, I thought that the attorneys were the ones that would ask the questions, say denied or approved or whatever. What the fuck?
Yeah, the judge. I mean, normally it is a judge. I mean, you actually have like the actual lawyers and stuff saying, well, they want this person, or they don't want that person, and stuff like that. So it's always, normally it's always the actual lawyers themselves too. I think in some cases it may actually also the judge may also have some input as well too. So we're gonna touch up on that tonight, though.
What happened? How did it get that the jurors are not reflective of the person that's on trial? I'm just wondering, how did it go awry?
Yeah, because I think the judge. I think in this case in particular, the judge also has some say in it as well too.
Yeah, the judge comes up with the rules of the so-called voir dire, where they question these different jurors, the prospective juror. They call it a voir dire, and when they questioning them, both sides gets to ask those questions of what they think they're gonna, what they think are great answers from these people, because they want to know, what do you think about race? What do you think about privilege, white privilege? Questions like that. And
or even if you've had anybody in your family, they ask these, pertinent questions to try to tweak it. So how do Jesus?
But see, what happens is the judge sometimes, especially if you're dealing with a white judge, which probably is the case here, they will go in the favor of the prosecution and give them one more chance to make the jury the way they want to make it. See, that's where the rules come into play. See, this is what we got to understand. This system is in the favor of white supremacists. So you got that.
I think that this is a good point for an appeal, because what I'm saying, that this was not what the court system was created for. You're supposed to be tried by your peers. So if this isn't appealed by somebody, I mean, come on, black brothers and sisters that got some type of legal degree. I mean, damn.
Well, what just happened in a case that we just all watched across the nation. The Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember, they just did it in that case. The judge
was babysitting this joke in there.
Yep, we just watched it. We watched it right in front of the world. The judge was giving favoritism to the defense team the whole time. He gave them favorable position to put the jurors on the case that they wanted. See, that's the judge. See, that's what happens when you have white supremacy male judges in these cases. This is what can happen to us.
Not just male judges, Professor. Because if you look at that Keaton Smith, that was a female white judge.
Well, yeah, female. Yeah, of course.
And don't forget, even in the Botham Jean, in that trial as well too. That was a female judge up in that one too.
Yeah,
talking about the one where the judge came down and prayed with the person.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
It was a black woman too, by the way.
Yep. Now she might have been an immigrant black woman. I don't know. Was she an immigrant black woman? DJ, do you know?
Yeah, but they flatten blackness here in America spelled with 3 K's. Now I see it. There you go.
Yeah, I know what you said.
Yeah, real talk. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead.
We all look alike according to the white man. You know what I'm saying?
Leon, I know you had you had your hand up. You want to say something real quick?
Nah, I just jumped in right when Professor was talking about, because I wanted to mention about that judge in that Kate Smith trial.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead. I see some of us starting to filter in. Y'all go ahead. If y'all could, please go ahead and tweet out the space, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it started. For our people that miss it, we can go ahead and inform them. I want to give a shout out to DJ. He just got up in the place. Let me give a shout out to my man Black Pressure as well, and Abu, some of our usuals up in the space. So welcome. Y'all already know how we do in the Newstoter space. We're gonna talk about the current news involving Black Americans, hottest topics and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get in depth in this thing. What's up, Re-Rob? We can also anybody, once I go ahead and I touch up on this quick article, it was published by Black Enterprise, and once again curated on the Newstoter.com platform. Y'all make sure y'all check Newstoter.com out daily, the largest Black-owned news curation platform today in America. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right up into it. It says, trial for ex-Fort Worth police officer who shot and killed Atatiana Jefferson has no Black jurors. The jury selection is complete for the trial of ex-Fort Worth, Texas police officer Aaron Dean, and no black jurors were selected, according to WFAA News. Dean shot and killed Atatiana Jefferson on October 12, 2019, inside her home. Body camera footage showed Dean, who was white, shot and killed 28-year-old Jefferson, who was black, in her home after a neighbor called the police to say Jefferson's front door was wide open. Jefferson was upstairs playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew, Zion Carr. Dean and another officer arrived on the scene around 2:25 a.m. to find the front door wide open, but the screen door closed. As the officers moved around her backyard, Carr said that Jefferson heard noises outside and grabbed her handgun from her purse. The graphic body camera footage showed Dean pointing his gun at Jefferson through the window as he yelled, "Put your hands up. Show me your hands." He immediately began firing without advising Jefferson he was a police officer or giving her a chance to lower her weapon. Dean was arrested a few days later and charged with murder. At least 200 people were randomly selected as potential jurors, but dozens were excused due to scheduling conflicts or because a judge deemed them to be biased. Here comes the judge right here. The jury, consisting of 6 women and 8 men, is majority white and does contain several minorities. However, none of them are black. According to WFAA News, several jurors said they could not convict Dean for doing his job. So going out there and killing a woman in her own house in front of her nephew is doing their job. Fort Worth community leader Corey Session, the outlet that the jury's makeup was concerning. If he's found guilty of charges, race will be brought up. It could be a bad day for the city of Fort Worth and race relations. But the people who are the custodians of the judicial process are the ones who should answer for how this jury pool ended up this way. Judge George Gallagher said that Dean told the court he wants the jury to decide his sentence if he's convicted. Dean's lawyers will file a request for probation should he be convicted of murdering Jefferson. So they're going to sit up here and try to file. If he gets convicted of murder, they're going to sit up here and talk about that he should be just serving probation. The trial is expected to last for 2 weeks. Opening statements for the trial is scheduled to begin today on December 5th at 9 a.m. So they already sitting up here talking about if this dude goes ahead and he gets convicted for killing this woman in her house in front of her nephew, that they should go ahead and give him probation. He sits up here like they say. He doesn't. He just goes and like a madman and he starts firing. He doesn't ask people to come out or anything like that. He doesn't tell them to drop the gun. He just goes off and he starts firing. Could have killed a boy in there as well too. So luckily the child, he wasn't shot and killed. He goes in there just as a lunatic and just starts blasting. And now you got the judge sitting up here, and who knows how many black people that the judge actually turned away that could have been on that actual jury pool because he talked about that they're biased. And now you got his lawyers talking about, hey, if he is convicted of murder, how many people? I mean, I think you have to go back to that case back in the 90s in LA when you had the young girl Latasha that got killed by the Korean store owner. She gets killed, and the white woman gives a Korean store owner probation for murdering her. So now we got them sitting up here with this cop talking about, if he gets found guilty, then we just gonna go ahead and put him on probation, or we're gonna suggest probation. Only in America can you have some nonsense like this here, because this is role reversal. And I don't give a damn if it had been a black man that was a cop and he shot a white woman in front of a damn white kid at her house without giving any kind of warning, just started opening up and started blasting. This black man, there's no way in hell he's gonna sit up here and get no damn probation. To sit up here and even say something stupid. Now he could say, well, I could say if he said a 2nd-degree murder or something like that. He's not manslaughter or anything like that. He said if she's convicted of murder, they think that he should get probation. This is the country and this is the system we live in. This is the complete nonsense that we daily talk about. That's why it's important to have these spaces. That's why up in the Jumbotron right now, I got that actual article in there. It'd be good if everybody in this space went ahead and retweeted that actual article out. This is right here. You got racial tensions in Fort Worth getting ready to explode potentially. It's a powder keg. They set up here and they went once again. They finessed this entire jury, made sure that there was no black people on it. You got white men, white women. I'm sure you got, if it's in Texas, you got to have probably Hispanics on there as well. Who knows, maybe Asians. But somehow, some way, no black person could get on the jury. Everybody in this space and had jury summons before. But somehow, some way, in this murder case here with this ex-cop who they charge with murder, you can't get any black person on the actual jury. I'm gonna kick it to Professor. I'm gonna kick it Ray, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I slept all night, Maybe I was bouncing my head as a child, but somebody please make it make sense to me because right now I don't even understand what they're talking about. Go ahead, Professor.
Y'all, let's just be honest. For morality purposes, it doesn't make sense because if you're a person of morals, then you're gonna do what's right, and that is you're gonna put people on the jury that represent that particular location, that particular city, the particular America that we live in, which is filled with multitude of people. Okay, so how could you just put pretty much pretty much all white? I guess you got these white Latinos that might be on the jury too. But see, this is the problem. They want to put these juries as all white because they're trying to intentionally get these cops off. That's the system, y'all. This is the white supremacy system. So yes, does it make sense in the morality sense? No, it doesn't. But for these white supremacists that want to continue to do what they do, it makes perfect sense what they're doing. They're doing it all across the country, y'all. If you've been watching some of these trials, that's what they do. They'll put majority white or pretty much all white so they can try to get these murderers off. And we've seen it in pretty much all these high-profile cases. It was the case over in Trayvon. Look over there in that Trayvon Martin case. Did y'all not see all white people? That's how that guy got off. What was his name again? Zimmerman? George Zimmerman? That's how he got off. I think they even had pretty much all white in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Now, that was a special case because they actually found those guys guilty. Very, very, very seldom they don't go along with us. So that was a special one right there. But I'm just going to say this is what you're going to see throughout all the high-profile cases as they come along. This is what you're going to see. So just know, Black family, this is what we're going to get. Now the question is, what are we going to try to do about it? We got to try to see if we can get some type of legislation, or we got to start getting into these court systems, or start trying to put our people on these courts so we can get some representation up in there so we can stop all this type of shit. See? So we just got to try to do what we can to fight against it, but we see what's going on. I land my plane there.
All right, Professor. As always, glad to have you in the space and glad to hear that. And yeah, all white juries. This ain't a thing of the past, man. This ain't no 1990 and stuff like that. Even to this day, they showing you. Like I said, this woman was just murdered in her own home, just like Breonna Taylor. And now you have an all white jury. And now they're sitting up here. They finessed it to the point that they're trying to get this person off as much as possible. Today they had I posted an article where an 82-year-old Black woman was arrested for unpaid trash bill as well too. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic. But you can't. Some of this stuff, man, and some of these articles and stuff I'm coming across, you just all you can do is just shake your head about it and stuff like that. You got it, Ray.
I'll be real quick. I just wanted to add in, we're talking about the injustices, this unjust system that we live in. The fact that this boy, Caden Smith, was 17 years old, charged with murdering 3 Black people, and actually let him out on parole, and then he got arrested with drugs and guns, out violating his birthday. And if that was one of us, first of all, we murdered 3 white people or 3 anybody, we definitely wouldn't be getting out. So again, that just shows the injustice that we live in, that we shouldn't even be surprised about. I land there.
No, we shouldn't be surprised about it, but at the same time, man, I mean, you have to have some kind of national, you have to have some national uproar about some of this type of stuff that's going on, man. And this case really hasn't caught it's caught somewhat of the national radar, but it hasn't really upset our people to the point that it really should. Like I say, I saw bits and pieces, and I didn't see the whole thing where her nephew was actually up there, and he spoke so well. He was a young dude, just 11 years old. 8 years old at the time that this situation happened, and he had to go ahead and see his aunt killed in front of him. He's sitting up there playing a video game, minding his own business, and his aunt gets murdered in front of him in her own place, trying to protect herself. Now you can't even now. We always talk about the Second Amendment and this and that or whatever. But whenever a black person tries to protect themselves in their own place, you know, people are trying to look at you like you're a criminal, like you don't have a right to, you know what I'm saying, protect yourself. This was the same thing that the people were trying to say about the situation with Breonna Taylor, that the boyfriend and stuff. The boyfriend don't know who in the hell breaking in the house. He hears something. His girl gets shot. Damn right, he's supposed to pull out his heat and protect him and her. I mean, what man wouldn't do that? She comes up in there, they come up in there, start shooting this and that, don't identify who they are, whatever, and start blasting on people. And you're supposed to just sit up there and be target practice for these people. I don't know, man. Like I said, we need some kind of national organization to kind of deal with this, because every single solitary day we're having these type of stories. And like I say, now it used to be black men, they would break in on like Fred Hampton them and just start spraying and killing and stuff like that. They don't care now. They'll put a hole in the black woman just as quick as they'll put it in the black man. They don't care that you're sitting in your own place, minding your own business. They'll come in there and blow your brains out.
Well, what did they say about black women? And I have mentioned this in previous spaces, Newstoter, that a lot of times with black women, and I think we spoke about it one time in your space, in medical terms, black women are considered not to be in pain, or they can take pain, as they like to say, but black women can endure pain better than white women, is what they say. So with that being said, this is how they view both of us, black men and black women, that we are a group that can endure pain, that we can take anything, therefore we're seen as hard and basically not human. And unfortunately for black women, because black women are just as feminine and female as the white female, but guess what? These race soldiers don't care. They be pouncing on y'all and shooting y'all just like they shoot us. And that's something that black women need to be aware of. That if you out here on these highways traveling, these race soldiers will fuck with you too. We seen it happen with Sandra Bland. Do y'all remember that case? And we know what happened with that sister. So understand, black women, this can happen to you. It's happening to black men, but it's happening to y'all too. And by the way, Sister Trouble, we need some trouble up here. Yeah, that's right, because that's the sister that brings trouble to you right there.
And while we talking about this, while we talking about black women and been killed by the police, like I said, I mentioned this other black woman that's 82 years of age. I'm gonna read that to y'all really quick. This was curated on the Newstoter.com platform, curated by one of our partners, Black Star News. I'm gonna put that in the jumbotron in a second. I'm gonna just go ahead and read this. And I just want to get your opinion about. I want to get the men's opinion about this. If you saw your 82-year-old grandma, and this is the kind of BS that they doing, they pulling right here. Now they can do this to this 82-year-old woman, but you got Callan Bryant still walking around here, and they can't find her, or they can't do this to her, or they can't punish her. Oh, it was so long ago. Oh, she was a young woman, and she all kind of nonsense that they come up with, all kind of excuses. But I just want to hear what the brothers got to say about this. Forget the women for a second, ladies. This is not to be a chauvinist, but I just want to hear what the brothers got to say, because I'll be damned if you finna come and do this to my grandma. She 82 years old. You finna slap handcuffs on her over this right here. You're gonna be taking her, and you're gonna be taking me, putting us both in that goddamn patrol car. But hold on real quick. I'm gonna just touch up on this real quick, and I just want to get y'all opinion about this. This is the kind of nonsense that I'm talking about. 82-year-old black Alabama woman arrested for unpaid trash bill. 2 police officers from the City Valley, Alabama, arrested 82-year-old Martha Minifield at her home Sunday for failure to pay a $77 trash bill. The officers handcuffed Miss Minifield, a black woman who told a reporter Thursday that the cuffs were heavy. One of the officers told her not to cry as they put her in the back of the squad car. "I'm just happy my grandkids weren't here to see that," Miss Minifield said tearfully. "That would have upset them. I was so ashamed. It's been bothering me." Valley Police Chief Mike Reynolds defended the arrest, saying in a Facebook post that the officers were required to enforce the arrest warrant after Miss Minifield did not appear in court in response to a citation for a non-payment of trash services. Miss Minifield, who has lived in the same house for nearly 30 years, says she thought the bill had been paid and she never received a notice to appear in court. If her trash bill wasn't paid, she said, they should have suspended her trash pickup, arresting her. She said it was unjust and unnecessary. Commenters on Facebook agreed, expressing outrage about Miss Minifield's arrest. One commenter wrote, "That is seriously disgusting and a hateful thing to do. What a shame officials think this is okay." Miss Minifield's daughter, Nikita Tucker, told WIAT that failure to pay a trash bill should never be considered a crime. This isn't a criminal act, she said, adding that multiple people have tried to pay her mother's bill, but the staff have not allowed them to do so. Miss Minifield was taken to Valley Police Department and placed in a small cell for processing. "I was in a little cage-like thing at this police station," she said, "and I said, y'all put me in this cage, y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves." Oh, and of course, this was in damn Alabama as well too. So let's just go ahead and put that in there as well too. And let me give a shout out to Brenda. Thank you, Brenda, for your contribution on Cash App. This is nonsense here. This is nonsense. This is somebody's grandma, you know. And luckily for those cops that they did that, why her grandkids weren't there, and that they didn't come across the right grandkids as well too, because some of that would not have flew. How in the hell are you going to arrest in this country here where people file bankruptcy and everything else, and you're going to arrest an 82-year-old black woman, 82-year-old woman, period, but 82-year-old black woman for a $77 trash bill? I mean,
And you say she had a warrant because of a trash bill?
No, she didn't have no warrant. I mean, she was supposed to appear in court or whatever, I guess. But they said, she said she didn't even get the notice. But Ray, here's the thing. First off, there should be no warrant for. I mean, people all the time don't pay cable bill, light bill, water bill, this and that. People don't get put in jail. This ain't the goddamn 1600s. I mean, yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean. And then you got the police officer, the captain, or whoever the hell he was, sitting up here defending it on Facebook, sitting up here trying to explain it. He himself just like, look, we can't do this. Let's go ahead and try to find an alternative method. Let's try to find another way of handling this instead of doing this to this woman right here. Certain things, just man, you just can't put into words right here. Just the amount of just nonsense that we face as a people. Like I said, you got. And I pointed out these two black women. One was 28 and the other 82. Polar opposites, but still getting treated like trash by the system. You got it, Professor.
Y'all, being that I live in Alabama, of course, I know how it is here. They do things this way. And it's really pathetic and sad that they use the system as another way to make money off our backs, which is what they did to Miss Minnie right there. They basically did that to get money. Didn't care about her being 82. They didn't mind come picking her up for that little bit of whatever. What, $77? Come on, give me a break. But this is Alabama for you. They still live in the old age, and they're not trying to change. Unfortunately, a lot of our people around here are not trying to do anything about it either. A lot of black people around here are just kind of going along to get along, which is bullshit, because you need to be trying to fight against this type of stuff. This is why I say, y'all, Brother Malcolm and Brother Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. be so disappointed right now in all of us, man, because a lot of us are just sitting back and just letting shit happen. Don't try to fight against nothing. Like I was talking to my aunt and my uncle about these Hispanics coming into the country taking shit from us that belong to us. And my aunt was like fired up about it. She was like, yeah, we need to do something about that. But guess what my uncle said? He said, well, shit, it better somebody get it there because we ain't getting it. Somebody need to get it. I was like, God damn, man, that's not the attitude to have. We need to be trying to fight to make sure we keep ours and get more. See? But that's where the old heads mindset is at. Now, this is not all of them, but sadly, a lot of the older black people, they don't want to fight, y'all. They hate the baby boomers, I guess is what you want to call them. They don't really want to get into the fight. And then sadly, we got some in our own generation, the Generation X, that don't want to fight. See? So, that leaves the millennials.
And we got them. We got a bunch of millennials that don't want to fight either with the Gen Xers too.
That's true. And that is so true. We got to get ourselves out of this funk of not speaking out and not doing something about this type of stuff. Because look what just happened to an 82-year-old black woman. Now, they wouldn't have did that to a white woman that's 82 years old, just like they're not doing it to Miss Carolyn. Well, excuse me, I should call her Miss. That Caucasoid Carolyn Dunham Bryant. They won't arrest her. And she had something to do with Brother Emmett Till being murdered.
Got a whole warrant.
Yes. And they won't go pick this woman up. Now, everybody know this woman was involved, but they won't go and pick her up and prosecute her because they're talking about her age and her health and all this shit. But y'all didn't think about that with Bill Cosby. Y'all didn't think about that with Bill Cosby. Y'all didn't think about that with this lady right here. She's 82 years old. Y'all didn't give a fuck. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. White supremacy don't even care that it's an 82-year-old black female. That's why I'm saying, black women, y'all, and I hear a lot of black women on the spaces always talk about black men, how we being mistreated, but they doing it to you guys too, you know. So that's why I tell black women, stay alert, stay on code, cause they're bringing the fire down on you guys too. See, they gonna get to us. They want to get to us, of course. You know, they want to get to the men, but they also gonna take you all out too. So that's why black women and black men got to be on code and be on point to fire up. You know, I remember y'all, I said back here a couple of weeks ago that black men, we need to be taking our sisters, we need to be taking our daughters, our wives, girlfriends to them shooting ranges, getting them ready. I'm going to land my plane there.
Real quick, and I'm going to kick it to you, baby sister. Yesterday's space was a good space, and you know the cream of the crop was about Deion Sanders and stuff like that, and Deshaun Watson. Of course, the Tuskegee part was important for the historical purpose of how lady was trying to whitewash it and change things around and this and that. But you also got to put into perspective, as much as we want to talk about Deion Sanders and even Deshaun Watson, if Deion Sanders and Deshaun Watson never play football again, they're gonna be okay. They're not going to be treated like the average black person. That's not to say that they can't get it in this system of white supremacy. These type of issues right here that we're talking about tonight, they need to be highlighted. The way everybody was going in last night and the discussion, how that was, you know, this has to be highlighted. And black women themselves, you know, a lot of times they talk about the treatment and how they get in this and that. And like you said, Professor, even how we black men are treated and stuff like that. But unless you haven't been watching the news or online anything, they've been playing target practice with black women as of late as well, too. They will knock the living, you know what, out of a black woman in a heartbeat. You know, they will slam a black girl head against the damn pavement and not think anything about it. She could be in damn middle school. So we're going to start to need our people, not only just the men, to go ahead and start talking about this more, but also our sisters as well, too. And the fact of the matter is, like I said, you have two varying stories. You got an 82-year-old black woman that's been in her house almost 30 years, and damn if she missed. So what if she didn't pay the trash bill for the past 4 months? Just don't pick her trash up. Go ahead and place a lien on her property or whatever you got to do. But the fact of the matter that you go ahead and you arrest this woman, you handcuffed her, and you sitting up here and you acting like that's cool and that's all right. Now you got this race soldier goes in here and he blows this girl away in front of her nephew, 28 years old, blows her away in front of her 8-year-old nephew playing video games. And his lawyer sitting up here talking about if he's convicted of murder, that he should get probation. They don't, between the lawyers and the damn judge up here, they done set it up here where they done got a mostly white jury sprinkled with a few Oreos in there that's non-black. Already find a way to go ahead and screw things over. Going to go and make sure they get this person off right here. Going to do everything they can that if he's found not guilty, that at the very least is a hung jury. And I mean, and this is what I'm saying. I grew up watching Deion Sanders, big time Florida State fan. I watched Deion his last year at Florida State as a kid in elementary. Love Deion. Always rooted for Deion, no matter what team he was. Even if I didn't like the team, I was never a Cowboy fan. Still rooted for Deion. Watch Deion play baseball. Nobody's exploits at Florida State, going from the football field to the same day running track and everything else. playing baseball, all that, know about all of his exploits. I love what he did at the HBCU, bringing the attention and whatnot. Great thing, great, and it won't take away from it. A lot of people upset. And my girl Tony, she tweeted out, and I tweeted out even earlier. Tony, like I said, I saw that Colorado talk about they don't have the money to pay him at this time yet, and he'll get his money. But Dion ain't hurting for no money, and Dion ain't gonna be treated like this. This is, as much as I love Dion, this is stuff right here that we need to be speaking about right here. This is stuff that any black woman in this space, this could happen to you or your grandma. Somebody can come up, one of these cops could come up in your house, get the wrong address, blow your head off, and then they'll go ahead and try to whitewash as much as possible. Say, well, oh, she had to do something wrong, or she probably was some kind of drug dealer. So, let's look at her record, her criminal record. Let's see what she did. Do any goddamn thing they can. Plant a damn gun in there, plant dope in there, whatever it is. And this is the kind of stuff that we need to be worried about. I'm going to cover it all because, like I say, we are a curation platform. So we handle lifestyle, news, entertainment, politics, education, sports. We pretty much handle it all. So when it comes down the pipe, we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to have a discussion on it. But something like this should absolutely just be having everybody blood in this space boiling right here. One person is dead because of these stupid ass cops. And then this other woman, she's sitting up here crying, being handcuffed in her house, minding her own damn business, gonna be handcuffed. And you got this young black boy had to witness his aunt be slaughtered in front of him. 11 years old, he has to sit up in the court and testify about what he saw. And this doesn't upset anybody. This don't piss anybody off to the point. This is bigger than Deion Sanders. Like I said, I love Deion Sanders. Big time Florida State fan. But this is bigger than Deion Sanders. This is bigger than Deshaun Watson coming back after 2 years in the NFL with the whole massage thing. We got to get it together as a people, man. We really got to get it together. We got to get it together. We got to get it together. We got to start. We talking about getting our I's dotted and our T's crossed and whatnot, man. We can't keep letting shit like this slide. Excuse my language because I try not to curse, but it slips out sometimes in these spaces. We can't just keep letting this kind of stuff slide and sit here and just act like we just can't do anything, like we just some helpless children. This is ridiculous here. You know, only thing worse than the grandma is that this young lady lost her life, and this child had to see it. But to slap handcuffs on an 82-year-old woman over a damn, how many people in this country got unpaid debts and bills and stuff like that? And freaking Alabama, still Alabama, after all this time, ain't nothing changed. Don't sit up here and talk about how much it done progressed and this and that or whatever. Like you say, Professor, ain't nowhere in hell they would have put no handcuffs on no 82-year-old white woman over no damn trash bill. I don't give a damn if she didn't pay the trash for a year. They wouldn't have put her in jail. Just ridiculous. I don't even, I'm going to be honest, y'all, I lost the order of who's next, to be honest. Like if the co-hosts of y'all know I saw people raising their hands. I'm going to be honest. I lost the actual the order of what people are supposed to go at.
We feel your heat, brother, because yeah, they shot a pregnant woman 9 times when she was kneeling. Okay, a pregnant woman. So not only did they take a woman out, they took the person that could give more children to fight in this shit out. So but for Karen's as Carolyn, there's such a thing called citizen's arrest. So if anybody should see her rich cracker ass anywhere out and about, do a citizen's arrest. Snatch her up by her old, decrepit, gnarled little hands, slap some cuffs on them, but you can do a citizen's arrest. For the people who say, well, there's nothing we can do, and we're just going to have to give it to the Lord. For those type of people, now we can use this to expose our churches and our NAACPs. This is a perfect opportunity for whatever church that grandma was in to come out and say something. So when we have these elderly people saying to us, who go regularly to tithes and everything, but they're never discussing anything that's pertinent in their lives or their grandchildren's lives or whatever, now we can use this as a talking point. Why isn't your church talking about this? Why aren't the members of that church standing out, going to the press, rallying around to do something? So now let the NAACP, which is supposed to be a litigator for us, right, on our behalf. So as these things come up, let's just, like when you turn that light on and the roaches start to just scamper, it's time to flick some light on churches, and it's time to flick some lights on these the NAACPs. What excuse are they going to use now? Now we're coming to their front door. This woman, I'm sure, if she's in Alabama, has a church. So let's just see what's going to come. And if it doesn't, then that's the type of shit where, I had a dream. So wink, wink, stay black with me. Police cars can't start if their wheels aren't all, deflated. Police cars can't start if, there's sugar in the tank. I'm just saying. So unless we really want to do some shit to say, if you're going to run us down, you're not going to have a car to work in. Fuck that bullshit. You're not going to be stopping me at every light, just to harass me because your cars are not going to be working. Simple, but like I say, it was a dream. Stay black with me. But we need to see what the NAACP and this church is going or not going to do, and then it's time to slam this shit. This is getting ridiculous. I land my plane.
Absolutely, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting worse. I mean, it's getting worse every day. It's some nonsense like this. It is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Oh, wait, Newstoter. I forgot. And the last thing is for Dion. Okay, yeah, whatever. If he's not going to stay until a graduation, at least 4 years to see, whatever's going to happen, be that as it may. But I'm scratching my head by asking, why isn't the water on? Dion is a person. He's a brother or whatever. With all of this stuff going on, nobody wanted to say, well, we have this new, whatever he built or, got money for. They got water? How did they get water? And the rest of the people didn't get water. Where's the water? I want some water. Nobody's thirsty for water. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like, so yeah, they can do this for the football team. But the bigger picture is, if I lived in Jackson, I wouldn't care if somebody got a new field or whatever. I would like to have some water. So why wasn't he on top of that? I land my plane now.
I think, sister, he did address that. I think he did. He did have Jackson State, and he did bring some national attention to it about the water issue. And like I said, I'm not taking anything from Dion, just one person, like I say, and like I said, when I was talking about the space yesterday and how everybody, we had such a big space and everybody talked about it and this and that, and mainly it was about Dion, and some of it was about a good portion of it was about the Tuskegee experiment and how this lady was trying to whitewash it. Make no mistake about it. Like I say, with Dion leaving, that was newsworthy and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like this is even a bigger story of both of them, especially the Atatiana Jefferson, the way she was killed, the way she was murdered, and the way that the actual legal system once again has reared its ugly head and showed how they will go ahead and do anything they can to cheat to get ahead. They're going to make sure they try to do everything they can to make sure this dude don't do any time, or if he does do time, he gets slaps on the wrist, or he just gets damn probation. His lawyer them already threw that out there. They went ahead and stacked the damn jury the way they want to stack it. So now they're trying to go ahead and get him acquittal. At the worst, they're trying to get him a hung jury. So I did that just like this. Not to take anything, like I said, it was a great space yesterday, but I just feel like that the same energy that we put into Deion Sanders, whether Colorado's going to give him his $5.9 million on time, we need to worry about, like you say, the water crisis down there in Jackson, Mississippi. We need to worry about senior citizen black women being thrown in the damn patrol cars and stuff for an unpaid bill. We need to worry about black women getting their heads blown off in front of black kids in their own place, minding their own business, not breaking any law or doing anything to anybody. So that same energy that we put into the space yesterday, and that same energy, and not just a space, but the entire nation, the way the entire nation, black and white, is talking about Deion Sanders leaving HBCU Jackson State, which, let's be honest here, nobody gave a damn about Jackson State 3 years ago. Nobody talked about Jackson State. Most people couldn't tell you what damn state Jackson State was in, what city it was in. Nobody gave a rat's about it until Deion Sanders came there. So the same energy we put into Jackson State and Deion Sanders leaving to go to Colorado, and if Deion Sanders, if the athletic director at Colorado has the $5.9 million, or is he going to have to borrow it from some of the big money boosters and stuff like that, we should be putting that same energy into these sisters right here. One is dead, in the prime of her life, cut down short because of nonsense, and the other one was just completely disrespected. Completely disrespected.
I'm gonna go back down to Newstoter. I'm gonna go back down to listener because my upper lip is sweaty and my eyes twitching and I'm not stroking out. I'm just fucking mad. Whenever we see that or people are tweeting out for Dion, hashtag our sister Atatiana Jefferson and the other our other elder in every and anything. In every and everything. And I also include the International Criminal Court. I also include the BBC International. Sometimes this shit don't get out. So any type of foreign or, any type of social media outside of the United States, I tag that shit. And if anybody knows me, you'll see I have like a list of it. So when they want to talk about Dion, okay, sweet, whatever. But put those two people in a tag. And I'm going back down a listener. Thank y'all.
You're welcome, sister. And shout out to Be More Codified for your contribution on Cash App. Like I said, y'all, I got into it, so I kind of lost exactly the order of the hands on here. So if y'all could, I'm not sure if it was Pressure. I'm not sure if it was Leon. I'm not sure if it was Brother McCoo. I'll tell you what, like anybody that wants to go ahead, because like I said, if you guys know the order, go ahead and let me know, and we can go ahead and try to get it back in the order.
Okay, I'll go then. You know what, Newstoter? This is one of the reasons that things like this are happening, because we have degenerate black folks who are supposed to be representing us. That goes from Al Sharpton being an agent who got caught on camera, was going to allow drugs to be sold in the black community, and he was going to get a $3,500 kickback because they're being paid by these white folks to stay silent. But here's something I don't know if you know this or not. Do you remember when this 92-year-old sister was shot in her home here in Atlanta, and she was killed years ago by the police? They claimed she was selling drugs. Well, check this out. The old stank bitch Shirley Franklin, who was the mayor at the time. Now she can, and see here's the issue. These people that come out here and they wanna they're scared of seeing, well, they're scared of being identified as being soft on crime. So Shirley Franklin comes out in front of the cameras and she said that this was a clean bus. I support these officers 1,000%. And then when the beautiful people in that community began to talk, they said, Miss Catherine don't sell no drugs. They said, Miss Catherine don't come outside. Miss Catherine don't have no company. And so they started looking at that, and come to find out, the police shot and killed her. And then they staged the scene. They tried to get this black informant to co-sign it, and it didn't agree with his spirit. He just said, "No, I can't do this to grandmama. I can't do this." And then, okay, and when that came out that they had lied, Shirley Franklin still has not, that I've seen, apologized to that family. Now, had that been some white folk, especially if they was gay white folks, oh, she'd have been eating 10 yards of this shit. Okay? And so then, not only that, when Paul Howard, the then DA, when he prosecuted the police, instead of giving them consecutive sentences so that they would really serve time, he gave them concurrent sentences, so they wouldn't serve that much time. By the time they got, whatever time they got, they served it concurrently, so they really didn't serve any time for that. And this just goes to show just how This is why we have to keep pressure on these people. This is why I've been text messaging these people back when they asking me to vote for Raphael. I tell them, fuck Raphael. I'm not voting for that. I'm not voting for him. Hell, what is he gonna do for black folks? And so it's part of that is that they know that the majority, I want to say, well, the people who are in office now, they are bought and paid for, and they would allow things like this to go down, and they're not gonna do anything to disrupt their check or disrupt them being elected again or for the first time. So that's why these things happen, you know, because when you look at what Dr. King and others did in Alabama during the civil rights movement, and you have some black people today, they are terrified of white folks. It makes no damn sense. And it's like what Sister said earlier. They want to sit up here and always want to turn towards these excuse my language, I don't mean to offend anybody, these bastardized religion. They ain't done a damn thing for anybody. You know. But this is why they do this. And I figured that they would try to do something whereby they would try to get this guy with Atatiana Jefferson. And now, what are the people in Texas? Are they raising any kind of hell about the makeup of this jury? Because I haven't read the article yet.
I don't really know original. I heard that there is some noise being made about it, but it's not enough. It needs to be more national noise made about it as well. You know, the people on the national level need to be talking about this a lot more.
And the other issue too, if this motherfucker get out, now the Democrats claim to be friends of black people, then they need to go after him. The Justice Department needs to go after him on what they always do is a civil rights violation. You know, they need to go after him with that as well. You know, because this doesn't make any sense. And like I said, it's because people like Agent Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson on down, or these boule people that they have now. You know, this is why this goes on. And this is why it is so important that we all begin to speak up about these issues. And we support those who are bringing these issues to the forefront. Because as long as we stay silent, this is going to continue. You know, and I hope somebody does do a citizen's arrest on that old troglodyte, Carolyn Bryant. You know, they need to arrest her ass too. Do whatever they want to do to her. I don't give a damn what they do to her. You know, and I don't care who hears this either. Because at some point, you know, black people, we got to make better decisions, and we got to begin to force these people to really represent us. Because it's like anytime they want to talk about us, they use these ambiguous terms so that it's supposed to apply to everybody. As you remember now, when Big Swole was running for governor of Georgia, what did she say? Said that she couldn't do anything for black folks because we're only 13% of the population. Well, hell, gay people are only about 4 or 5% of the population, but she didn't have a problem saying what she's going to do for gay folks. And they all are that way. When she ran in 2018, her, Andrew Gillum, and Ben Jealous up in Maryland, they all had what they would do for basically it's the gay white folks and the illegal aliens, and offer black folks nothing. That's why I was happy that the bitch lost in 2018. Because she wasn't going to do a damn thing for black folks anyway. And then they were trying to stay on the radio one day that she had a meeting with some people in Southwest Atlanta stating that she was going to try to get them more of the state contract. Well, I'm like this. If you can't say that shit in public, don't tell me that at a private gathering. Because it don't mean a damn thing. They just do these things to try to appease us to get our vote, and they go back to business as usual. They ignore of everybody else, and this is why this sister was arrested in Alabama, because they know that the majority of the people over there, they're punks, and that area is not far from. Remember, I told you my niece graduated from, I think it's called Southern Union. this school over there, and my sister and I was walking up to the graduation. We ran into these people that said, and they said they was from this town called Valley. But the way they said it, I guess it's like in Alabama. That's like a big area, or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, this is not acceptable on any level. And everybody and their mama should be talking about this, because as long as we allow them to do this, they're gonna continue to do it. And until we start putting that work in on them, they're gonna continue to do it. And I'm gonna land on that.
Real talk, original. Real talk. Let's go ahead and like I said, I kind of lost order, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just freestyle. I'm gonna go to Black Pressure. I'm gonna go to Leon. I'm gonna get to you, brother McCoo, because when I was going in, I kind of lost lost track of who was where. So I do apologize for that one, y'all. So, and any of our other speakers that's up in here that want to speak, go ahead. Shout out to Aunt La, shout out to Tanisha, shout out to Nubi. Any of you guys want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand, and we will go ahead and definitely let y'all go ahead and get up in here as well too. So go ahead, Pressure.
Hey, what's up, Black family? What's up, News? Right, DJ?
What's up, Pressure?
Hey, what's up? Hey, I have a question. I'll start out. I got a question starting out. So, I'm down here in Houston. And I heard you talk about the grandmother. So and I want anybody to try to answer this question, because it's like I'm legitimately curious. What is a trash bill? Because down here in Houston, the way we do it is trash is a city service, and all that is included when you pay your water bill. There's no such thing as a trash bill here. Like, even if they cut your water off, they'll still come and pick up your trash every Tuesday, or that's when they pick my trash up. So I'm curious, like, how does Alabama break down a trash bill?
I'm not in Alabama. Original might know, but I know here in Florida, for the most part, with the light bill, it's all included, the trash and the water. So
Yeah, out here out here in Houston, when you pay your water bill, the trash is all included in that.
I can answer that from Pennsylvania, because
Go ahead. I'm here.
Yeah, I actually pay a separate trash, because where I'm at, I'm out in the sticks, so there is no public works for doing trash. Trash up here is privately contract. There's quite a few companies, and then you just pretty much have to pick a company that you want to deal with, and then you just pay them. Sometimes you can pay by monthly, or every 6 months, or yearly, and that's pretty much how it is. So
I got you. Okay.
What it is, y'all, city has actually went out and contracted with some of these private-owned companies. Like here, where I live at in Alabama, that's what they do. A lot of these small towns will go out and they'll privately do a contract with waste management or something like the advanced disposal, some type of trash company like that. That's what that is.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all. So I'll move into the last thing I want to say. I'll say this. If anyone in the room believes that white supremacy does not exist, you really need to have your head examined. We have been living under white supremacy for literally, I'll start at the beginning of before this side of the world had a name. You've been living under it for 500 years. That's why I always tell people, I know I talk to a lot of my black family, they always say, well, we need more black representation. Black representation means nothing. People say we need more black cops, we need more black lawyers, we need more black judges. White supremacy is not an individual. White supremacy is not a group. It's a system. It's a code of ethics. It's an ethos. So when you combine all that, white supremacy negates skin color. White supremacy negates the education level. White supremacy negates income bracket, right? The only way that you can defeat white supremacy is you have to commit acts that you cannot take back, like the brother original said. You can't religion your way out of white supremacy. You can't educate yourself out of white supremacy. You can't ignore yourself out of white supremacy. You can't vote your way out of white supremacy. The only thing you can do to white supremacy, the only thing they understand is you have to get as vicious as they are. And I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, I had to say.
What's going on, brother McCoo? I think Leon might be first, and then you next. But go ahead, you got it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, you good. Go ahead.
We see a trend of ex-cops and ex-troopers committing these crimes. We just had an ex-trooper up here in Virginia catfish a girl, a teenage girl, 15-year-old girl, man. Act like he was a teenager and went to our house and killed her family, man. You know, this is something that's, you know, like a trend. You know, I mean, you know, Amber Geiger and, you know, we had Breonna Taylor, all these cops showing their real white supremacist faces. And I would say I understand exactly where Leon coming from as far as we got to get vicious as them. But I don't even want to get my hands dirty like that. I figure, man, we got to start serving some compensatory justice. And compensatory justice is when we start sitting these race soldiers and these murderers in the cell with the murder weapon that they committed the crime with. And we don't talk to them. We don't send them no food. We don't give them no communication with the outside community. We leave them in that cell with that weapon until they can go back to where they sent the person they murdered, you know, and apologize. And the only way they're going to do that is kill themselves. And that's compensatory justice. We need to start. See that right there? That way we ain't even dirty with the murder or murdering them. Because, see, one thing about evil is once you do it, evil got you. You feel me? We ain't the evil people. You feel me? But when evil is done, we gotta give out compensatory justice. And that to me is the most compensatory thing we can do to collaborators and practices of racism, white supremacy. Because right now, these race soldiers and the white community as a collective is showing us that it ain't even about liking us. We don't care if you like us or not, but your ability to harm us. Y'all putting all these anti-Asian bills and all these other, you know, bills in effect, and y'all just killing us off like we just supposed to sit here and get slaughtered, you know. So, I mean, right now my message to y'all in this space, my family, my care unit is protect your neck. You know what I mean? I take it back to the wolf. You know what I mean? DJ know what I'm talking about. Protect your neck. I'll land there.
All right, brother. Let us go ahead and hit up Leon, and we're going to get you to Nisha. Go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, whoever put out the idea of citizens arrest, that's a good idea, because let's not forget the whole Marbury. I'm just pulling his name up, and I apologize. Because Aubrey. Remember, the Michaels, that was their excuse, what they did to him. They were trying to get Aubrey under citizen's arrest. Or like that one white gentleman who was holding that young brother who was artistic by the throat over supposedly alleged stealing a bicycle. That was a citizen's arrest. So yes, we can do it too. Oh yes, we can do it, and we should do it, because nothing more is going to show them that we ain't putting it up anymore. Is we start doing what they do to us. Now, I'm not saying about promoting violence, not at all. But like my brother said about compensatory, I'm sorry about that, brother. I ain't want to talk about
compensatory justice. You cool,
Thank you, brother. But you know where I'm leaning towards what I'm saying. But I appreciate you clarifying that. You on the money, and that's something that we need to really think about. And I'll land there.
All right, brother. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my sister, Goddess. Once again, thank you, sister, for your contribution. Definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Go ahead and Tanisha, go ahead, sister. Go ahead and get your say in there.
Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? I missed a lot of the conversation because, as most of you guys know, what I'm dealing with. Hopefully, a lot of you know what I'm dealing with right now. My husband was, wrongfully arrested, so I was on the phone with him. But I came in and you were talking about the grandmother who was killed, and they said she was a drug dealer. And nobody in the community said anything. And then finally somebody started speaking up about her, because that's important. She was an elderly woman. Sometimes you hear stories on the news and they control the narrative and it doesn't make sense. You have how old did you say she was? 90 years old?
82.
82-year-old Black grandmother selling drugs.
Oh, okay. That's the other story. That's the one. That's the one original was talking about. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, they arrested her. This one here they arrested for simply not paying a garbage bill, a trash bill.
Oh, they arrested. Who was the lady that was killed?
Okay,
that was a grandmother too, right?
No, that was Atatiana Jefferson. She was 28 years old. She was sitting in her house.
Okay, I know. Right. Absolutely. Okay, so I got the two mixed up. She wasn't a grandmother. It was the girl who came in and the police busted in and killed her, and then they tried to cover it up. And then that started coming out this year, the cover up, which I was really happy to see, because if you know what I'm going through, if you heard my story, part of my story is there's things that are being covered up. So I just was on the phone with our lawyer tonight, and he's willing to talk about some things, because it's such an injustice and it's so dirty that the community and people need to be aware of what's going on. So when you get into a situation like what my husband is going through, the first thing that you may think is, well, what kind of people were these? Were these people who, did they go to jail when they involved in, different things or whatever? It's important to know the character of the person. It's important to know their family, because when you hear just one scenario, I'm guilty of it. Now I see stuff on the news and I'll be like, oh, somebody been on the run for a long time. They finally got them. But you don't know what's behind that story. And it's important to know what's behind that story, because lately a lot of people are getting locked up for things that they didn't do. There's a lot of things that are happening unjustly that are not being talked about until the end, till you see those people being freed. They've been in jail for 20 years and now they're being freed. And so I hear a lot of people say, well, they're going to keep doing this if we let them. If we let them do this. If we let them do this to us, then they're going to keep doing it. But how do you stop it? How do you stop people in high officials coming into your home, disrupting your home, causing trauma to your children, arresting our men, our women, killing them? Like, how do you stop that? How do you get involved? So because and I can only speak from experience from what I'm going through. So I'm guilty as a person of hearing a story and letting somebody else handle it. Because it's not close enough to me. So that happened in another state. Dang, that was messed up. But it happened in another state. It's not happening directly to my family. And until something happens directly to you where it shakes your core and you're screaming out for help from other people, then you'll start noticing how, even though you're screaming out for help and you're telling people what you're going through or whatever, people a lot of times, because it's not happening to them, they will turn a blind eye to it, or they'll empathize with you. But that's as far as their help goes, is empathy, because it's not happening to them, So I'm one of those people. I'm a mother. I have 3 boys. I have a total of 5 kids. And I have a grandson. And for God blessed me with these boys. I always wanted a girl, but ever since they were young, I always talked to them about racism in America. I've always talked to them about racism in America. I've always schooled my children about that. Never once did I think something was going to enter my home where they would have to, and injustice would enter my home that it would be so close to affect them. I would show them stuff on the news that's happening to other people, but it never really got too close to us to happen to us. And now we are in the shit of it. We are in the thick of it, and we are screaming out for other people to help us. I've been to churches and asked them for help. And what I noticed is that our churches, the only church that helped me was a white Methodist church. I went to my people, the area I'm from, black churches. They won't even let you get close to the pastor. That's a problem. How do you have a prison ministry and all you do is pray for people? People in prison need more than just prayer. There are criminals in prison who deserve to be there. There's people who don't deserve to be there. There's people who don't have funds. They may just need long johns. They need more than prayer. The Bible says that faith without works is dead. So we can have all the faith that we want, but if we don't put one foot in front of the other and start doing exactly what we can for these people who are crying out for help and trying to figure out something to stop these injustices, they're never gonna stop. They're going to keep kicking in our doors, killing our men and women, breaking up our homes, all of those things. We have to do more than just talk about it. So if you don't know what to do, find the nearest person, because it's not hard to find people nowadays. I have met so many people. Before this happened, I didn't know anybody who was wrongly accused. Now that I'm going through this, I meet so many people who have gone through it, who are going through it, who are trying to find ways. And one thing that I realized is there's no funding when you are wrongly accused, and that is the most important part. Because you don't want to get convicted. When you get convicted, it takes away certain rights. Then that state has, certain states have laws where guess what? They don't have to pay for the tragedy that they and the terror that they have bestowed on your family and what they have done to your kids, because you have been convicted. Why? Because you couldn't afford a lawyer. And those public defenders work with the DA. So let's not be clueless about that. And if you can't afford a big lawyer, like I was told, get what you can, get something. Help people get what they can. Help them in jail. Help them get long johns to be able to talk to their loved ones and stay connected. Prison ministries need to be more than just, I'm praying for you. There has to be action put towards it. Speak about it. Someone asked me today, was I scared because of what I'm going through? And one thing you guys, some things you don't know is that the case that I'm going to has another case that's kind of attached to it, a drug trafficking case. And it seems like there's some things that are really being covered up with really big people. And someone asked me, was I scared because I'm speaking about this? I don't have time to be scared. I don't have time to be scared. I have to keep speaking about it. We have to do something about it. We have to find a community of people who are not scared and who are going to do something about it if we ever want to see change. And I'm just speaking from a place because now I'm in it. When I was on the outside, it was easy to look at it and be like, yeah, that needs to change. But being inside of it, in order for things to change, you have to put one foot in front of the other and actually do something. Thank you.
You're welcome, sister. You're welcome. DJ, you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic. And before we do that real quick, Tanisha, because I want to go ahead and donate to you. Now, I meant to do it yesterday, but I got caught up. Go ahead and DM me the actual GoFundMe as well, too. And I'll go ahead and, if I don't do it tonight, because I'll be busy, I would definitely do it tomorrow. So go ahead and please DM me. And also, if you want to, go ahead and put the GoFundMe up there in the actual Jumbotron. If not, DJ, if you got to GoFundMe, she may not know how to do it. Go ahead and put it up there in the Jumbotron.
I don't know how to do it, but I will. Thank you so much.
I got it.
Aunt Lai, I see you up in the space too. Aunt Lai, I hollered at our mutual friend, and I need a link to your actual story. He wants your actual link to your story. I had it on Newstoter, but I put on Newstoter. After 6 months, it started going ahead and automatically deleting posts and stuff because we had so many posts on there and it was slowing up the site. So go ahead, Lie, and you get a chance, go ahead and when I talk to you, I want you to go ahead and send me a link to your actual story because he's going to take a look at it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to get you some attention as well on your story as well, too. So we got to go ahead and start trying to support our people as best we can. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic. DJ, I'm sorry, DJ, you go ahead and unmute your mic, and then Black Pressure.
No, I was just going to say, listening to Sister Tanisha speaking on her husband and her situation. Well, case I never forget when I was young. This is like when Nintendo first came out because I was, it was a Saturday, I was home, just getting that Mario on, you know what I mean? Just got the system, a couple days, days after Christmas or whatever the case be. Man, when I tell you the police kicked in my bottom downstairs door, we was living on the second floor of like a 3-family house or whatever. Man, they chasing my sister and all the neighborhood kids because the police thought they're not even the police, the D's. You know what I'm saying? The DTs, yo. They thinking they selling drugs. Like, they just went to the store to get some candy, yo. My mother just literally sent my sister around the store to get some candy. It's something we do every weekend. Like, so what the fuck is y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, my mother almost was about to beat the shit out of this guy. Real talk, yo. On the strip with my sister, yo. All the neighborhood parents came out. Everybody wilding on these cops, man. If y'all don't get the fuck up out of here for something happening, y'all. Real talk, man. But this ain't nothing new. This shit been happening. And if I'm telling you a story that happened way back in 87, you know what I'm saying? 88, whatever year that was, or shit, you know what I mean? When it was, I think it's 86, 87 or whatever, because that's when Nintendo first came out, like 85, 86 or whatever. So I got the Nintendo the year after, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure somebody in here that's older than me could break down the story too of the same situation. This shit ain't gonna stop until we make it stop. That's why we gotta be on it, man. But go ahead, though, Tyler.
Okay.
You there, Black Pressure?
Yeah, I'm here, man. It's like, damn, DJ, you old as dirt like me. Talking about the first Nintendo.
Real quick, DJ, hold it down. DJ, hold it down for me real quick.
For sure. And I had that Vest Tracks back in the day. What you know about that Vest Tracks, bro? You know what I'm saying?
I didn't have nobody. I didn't have.
The Vest Tracks was the first portable game. It was like a 10-inch screen, 13-inch screen, something like that, and it was in like a TV type shape. You put the cartridges on the side, the remote control was in the front. It was wired up and shit, yo. You could take that shit anywhere. That shit was fire, yo.
I've seen them, but was that the sister named Tanisha that was just speaking?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Look up Maurico Johnson, Morico Johnson, Maurico Johnson. Look it up. I'm gonna put the GoFundMe inside the Jumbo Trouble. Go ahead, Pressure.
I was just gonna say, man, you remember O.J. Simpson? He had that when he was going through his trial in the mid-90s. He had that all-star defense team. He had one of his lawyers was F. Lee Bailey, and you could probably make an argument he's probably one of the top 3 probably criminal defense attorneys that the United States ever produced. But he said this, and this is a white man, and so to put an asterisk by this is a white man telling you this. He said, in America, it is better to be guilty and rich than innocent and poor. Now, that says a lot coming from a white defense attorney. So I land my plane there.
Yeah, he did. Now, you're absolutely right, brother.
But you know what? Who was that guy that was the top lawyer of all? Johnny Cochran.
Like I said, you can make an argument. You can make an argument that F. Lee Bailey is like right under.
Yeah, he was right under him, but but the only reason why, and the reason why I say that, of course, is we need that Johnny Cochran type lawyer right now for what we going through, because we need a lawyer that can get out there and really get in the battles of the court system and put some of this stuff in the court system that we got to battle with, that Sister Willa was talking about the other night, that we got to start tracking, documenting, and getting into the court so we can try to win some of these fights, y'all. We're gonna start taking money from these folks. You understand what I'm saying?
Real quick, let me give a. My bad. Real quick, let me give a shout out to T McIntyre for their contribution on Cash App as well too. Appreciate you, family. Thank you. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I say allegedly for the space sake, I say allegedly Johnny Cochran, because he was the only lawyer that actually had a fight out, had a lawsuit against America for reparations for black people. A lot of people don't know that, but he had an ongoing case. He had a case active, and Claude Anderson in the atmosphere too. Everybody put their prayers up for Claude Anderson. But yeah, Claude Anderson and the Harvest Institute. He's been working on that since even now to his days ended. So I just want to say that, Johnny Cochran death was suspicious. It wasn't just no old heart attack shit. It was some suspicious shit going on.
And they say murdered. His brother got murdered too.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I thought it happened. Because you were absolutely right. If all of the guys that were defending him, and 3 or 4 of them died. You know that?
Yeah, Shapiro don't.
All of them died, and something happened with the bills. That wasn't about the whole system. I don't know what had something up with that. I think somebody killed the whole system because they was blackmailing my man, OJ. I can't think of what to it. You remember that?
You know why Shapiro's go around.
You remember that?
Definitely.
Yeah, but it's so funny you said that because I thought that too.
Johnny Cochran, I always thought once they announced his death, I said, okay, it's amazing that this brother was talking about the lawsuit with reparations. Now he's gone. That was my thought. Right at that time, when he was talking about going for this lawsuit with reparations, they did something to Johnny. Because they knew Johnny was the type of guy that could win that case. They knew it. They knew he could win the case.
And he wasn't going to quit original.
And if I remember right, he didn't have nothing to do with his brain. He had like a brain tumor or something. It was something with his brain, I remember. It's the reason why he passed away. Obviously, that's very hard to diagnose, so you never know what they could do these days.
For sure. And I want to shout out the immortal elder too, Malcolm X. So he didn't have the legal education, but before Johnny and before Dr. Claude Anderson, Malcolm had the nuts to go to the international courts to make a case for black people and how we would get treated in America. I think he went to the United Nations.
He did. You're right, Black Pressure. And that's what I was telling somebody in one of the spaces back here a couple of months ago. Malcolm X had already started this process. See, this is the type of stuff that Malcolm X was about. Malcolm X was about action.
Yeah, Malcolm was a dog for real.
Yes.
Hey,
getting in there.
Real quick, family, not to mess up the flow, but we got a couple hands up, some speakers that didn't get a chance to actually speak. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it to them. Let me give a shout out to Kendra. Thank you, Kendra, for your contribution on Cash App too. So I'm gonna go to Jurors girl, and I'm gonna go to Chase. Jurors, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, that's me, Kendra. You guys, this is my first time speaking. I'm actually Tanisha's best friend / sister, 20 plus years. I think we might be going on 30 years. I'm not sure. It's been so long. And the thing with, I don't know if you guys understand like how serious like this situation is, for the simple fact that the charges, double homicide, especially where he's located, they still actually do the death penalty there. And one of my concerns is that, with them knowing that they're setting this man up to take a fall for someone else, that they're either scared to go after, or they're protecting one of their own. And I just feel like, it may not be a knee on his neck or busting in the house and just shooting him, but, there's, they're thinking of another way to cover up all the things that they're like trying to pin on this man, and it's a scary thought because you don't know how far they may go with this to cover their own ass, so to speak. And it infuriates me that their youngest son, you know, the first thought in his head when he saw them taking his dad was, are they going to kill dad in the car? As a mother, I can't, like, in my heart, I can't fathom what that must have felt like for Tanisha. And when I tell you, this girl has not been sleeping. She's been out every day for the past 6 months. I think she's lost 20 pounds or more, you know, trying to get her husband out of there because she's worried about what they might do, knowing that they still enforce the death penalty there. You know, and it's just, and it's sad because I read some of the comments when they took him from people in Pennsylvania that knew about this case, and they're like, oh, I'm glad they got him. Oh, I'm glad they got somebody. Finally, justice is served. And it's like that. It's sad that they rather just see somebody take the fall for it rather than really looking at the evidence. Because when the story first came out, they said that these people, they have been involved with, you know, an extremely big drug ring, right? Never said anything about blood being found, nothing. And then all of a sudden, blood was found. You know, it's like, what, you know, come on. Like, you have to put two and two together. Like, do your research. And people aren't doing their research. And it infuriates me. And when I say she's been trying to get as much help as she can, and like somebody had said, you know, it's better to be rich and guilty than poor and in. That's exactly what's going on here. Because in order for him to get the justice that he needs, somebody that's not rich by any means has to come up with $10,000. I mean, $100,000. Like, how is that feasible? And she knows nothing about trucking. She's been trying to keep this man's trucking business going, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, I believe, this is just my opinion, from the higher powers that be, you know, every turn that she you know, she gets ahead a little bit, like they know that they asked about the trucking business, you know, how are you paying for this lawyer? And then once they figured out how she was like getting a little bit of money to pay the very expensive lawyer, then the next thing you know, they're trying to take the truck. They're trying to take the truck from her. They're saying, oh, she can't run the business. Oh, this is illegal. I mean, every time you turn around, I mean, it's something. And I honestly believe it's them trying to mess up any and everything they can so that he's forced to get a court appointed. Therefore, being able to put a lawyer in place that they want that's going to help them with their lives. Like, when I tell you this is so much bigger than just the innocent man in jail, it is much more. And I don't know, like, maybe Tanisha, if you can get with some people, maybe some of you guys are in Pennsylvania, you know, the next court date, maybe we can like all show up, like, just to let them know, like, there's a lot of eyes on this. It's not just her and it's not just him. Like, we're paying attention. But that's it.
Thank you, sister. And we're going to definitely try to support her as much as we can and stuff. And I appreciate the sister coming to the spaces and just sharing her story with everybody. And we're trying to get her some coverage the best that we can. And we're going to keep trying and trying to help her out and stuff like that. So I know if that's your girl and y'all been girls like that for so long, you're basically family, you're basically sister. So I know you got to be feeling the exact same pain that this sister's feeling as well too. So, you know, God bless both of y'all and try to stay strong for each other as much as possible. And, you know, we here, we're going to try to support as well as much as we can as well too. See my man Chase. I'm going to go to Chase. I'm sorry.
Top left hand side.
I'm going to go to Chase and then I'm going to go to Judge Sarah. So Chase, how you doing tonight? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, what's up, family? How's everybody hope everybody's good.
You're doing good tonight.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to the topic, brothers that brought up, late brother Johnny Cochran. Hands down, he was one of the best legal minds out there. You know what I'm saying? And he hasn't been replaced. Since Johnny Cochran died, I know that they had to have at least 10,000 lawyers, 10,000 black lawyers come out. You know what I mean? And, they get scooped up by these big firms paying this money and, and then I've seen or heard from them ever again. And it's like, I put the onus on these HBCUs. Where's the striving and legacy at? The marks of excellence and everything like that. You mean to tell me that y'all couldn't produce out of all them students that you done had that came through your doors, you couldn't produce another Johnny Cochran? I mean, I know it's only once in a lifetime that we get brothers like this, man, but that was the end of his life. It's a whole nother lifetime. I refuse to believe that there's not another black lawyer out there that's on that level. I just wanted to bring that out there, man, because it's a shame that we don't have Johnny Cochran. But as much as we big up these HBCUs, you ain't producing nothing.
Real quick, Chase, let me.
You got a handful of CEOs. That's about it. You got a whole bunch of doctors.
Hey, Chase, Chase, let me ask you a question real quick. What do you feel about the I don't know how long you were in the actual room, but what do you feel about the situation going on with Atatiana Jefferson, the whole trial and stuff with the no blacks on the jury and everything that's going on down there in Fort Worth, Texas?
Yeah, that was a sister that got shot through a door. It's a shame. A lot of other people were affected besides her nephew. Remember, her father had a heart attack before she was even put in the ground. Y'all remember that, right? We're talking about.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, her father died.
Oh, man.
Died from a heart attack.
Right. And just to add on to that, Eric Garner's daughter died like maybe 2 years after he passed away, like 2 to 3 years after he passed away, of a heart attack too, by the way.
I'm sorry to say, but this is just business as usual. He's being judged by a jury of his peers. I think that should tell us something. That should tell us, how we need to be looking at how these court systems are structured. Are we active in the local elections? Are we choosing these judges and these DAs like that? I heard a brother bring up Paul Howard, but I'm going to tell you, Paul Howard did some decent things in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure Paul Howard wouldn't have indicted Young Thug, but anyway, I digress. You asked me about the Atatiana Jefferson thing. I think that's real sad, but it's par for the course for white fragility. They have to stack the deck. They have to protect themselves. So this is not nothing new. I just hated that, when the dominoes fell, so many of them fell, and it really affected her family. Who's to say what her nephew is going to turn out like? And I believe that was her father. I believe that was his only child. Bro, that shit is sad all the way around. So, the white dude, man, he's going to burn in hell, and I wouldn't spit on him. But this it's like the die's already been cast, bro.
And fact in the other story I was talking about, even though it's not up in the actual, it's not in the title, just mentioning real quick about the actual grandmother in Alabama that got arrested for not paying a $77 trash bill, and they handcuffed her and treated her like trash. that when you hear stuff like that, man, you really just have no respect for a lot of these people.
That's Alabama. That's Alabama being Alabama. Remember Bull Connors is from Alabama? See, they take the strongest black men and they murder them. They do that all over the United States. Not just in Alabama, but out in Alabama, bro, you got some real, I mean, it's real country out there. I got some brothers, some folks that be up in Alabama on a regular, you know what I'm saying? But in some of those small parts and those shit, man, you get pure grade A racism from them folks out there. You know, so I mean, you know, this is white fragility putting their foot down. Remember, every time we catch a win or something that might seem like a W, they gotta put their foot down. Nah, we all know they wouldn't have did no shit like that to no 82-year-old white woman. We know that.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, Chase. Appreciate you as always. We got Judge Sarah, then we're gonna go to I think Black Pressure, then we're gonna get Aunt Lie.
Hey, can you let Black Pressure go? And I go after her.
Go after him. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, Black.
Hey, I just want to respond to our brother. I think his name was Chase. I want to say peace to the brother Chase, but I'll say this. I do get where he's coming from with his opening statement. I promise you I get where he's coming from. But I've had this conversation before, you know, with other members of the Black family. But I'll say this. We should never depend on any institutions to produce our heroes. I know what he was saying about HBCUs and Black lawyers, but if you examine all these people we hold in high esteem and have reverence for, like, it wasn't an institution of education that made Johnny Cochran who he was. It was his heart that made him who he was. You can look at, like, the Nation of Islam never produced another Malcolm X. Well, it's not going to be that institution. Malcolm X's heart made him who he was. You can also look at the Black church. They never produced another Martin Luther King, and they never will, because Martin Luther King's heart made him who he was. So, like, he hit it out the park when he said those people are they're gems, and they're you know, when God made them, he was showing off. They're once in a lifetime people, you know. And I'll land my plane there.
You ain't lying about that. That's what they call generational type of influences right there. So you definitely, those type of people, they don't come around every day. So you have to, when you have them there, you got to try to get the most out of them that you can, because you just, you know, with the system of white supremacy here, they definitely going to try to knock them off as much as best they can. We got Aunt Lie up in the spot. Aunt Lie, how you doing tonight?
I'm okay. I'm sitting here listening, trying not to get my blood pressure high. I'm so mad about that 82-year-old woman and being arrested, because literally, remember what I said, if you read my book, once you get a criminal conviction, they can make you a slave. That's why they arrest, and you be like, okay, in this situation, you didn't even have to arrest, you could give a ticket. So them arresting her to try to get a conviction, make her a slave over trash, like, I feel what you were saying, how that's just ridiculous. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you're not living in the in medieval times in Europe and stuff like that, and jailing people for, you know, for getting behind on payments and stuff like that. This I mean, in America, you know, we don't do that kind of stuff, and we damn sure don't do it to 80-some-year-old women. So to go ahead and handcuff her over a damn, and I know they talk about, well, she missed I mean, come on, man, you have to have.
At that point, you should have free trash. You 80-something years old. You think she getting up, putting out the trash herself? And then you know she probably living on a fixed income. It's just, again, remember when I told you ain't no crime and they got to make it up so they can justify? That's a prime example of them making up crime so they can say, look, we have crime. We have this arrest.
Yeah, they're trying to set an example. They're using this older Black woman to let everybody else know in that town what exactly, if you get out of line, what happened. You're going to go so as far, like I said, to go ahead and something that has nothing to do with any kind of criminality, and you're going to arrest this woman. You know, if you want to go ahead and get to the point, like I said before, and she didn't pay her damn trash all year long. The only thing you should be able to do is to go ahead and maybe put a lien on her property or something like that.
Not even a lien on her property. If she 80 years old and she didn't pay it, she 80 years old. It's community resources that you could put in place to help her with the situation. Okay, maybe at 80, because in certain towns, like your taxes, you don't have taxes that everybody else has because you're a senior citizen. So it's other stuff that they could have did where them not getting that bill paid is not going to hurt them financially. It's not going to be. It's literally BS. It's literally BS.
Hey, News, can I jump in for like 2 seconds, bro?
Go ahead.
I just want to tell Lie, hey, I know we had went, talking to DM. I didn't forget about you, but I was gonna tell you, man, I want to get you on the phone with my sister. I was telling you last time we talked, she's of course, she's a black, of course, and she's a woman, the one that the psychologist. I just want you, if you don't mind, get on the phone and chop it up with.
Yeah, I will. I'll give you my number in the DM.
Yeah, for sure.
You heard that Kyrie Irving gave my nephew $50,000?
I did not, but wow, I needed to smile. I hadn't smiled in a week, so that's amazing.
Yo, I was sitting here, I was calling my best friend, and I was like, yo, I'm about to go ahead and John Q on Florida. My brother was being sentenced. So I was going to the sentence, and I called my friend, and I was like, I'm about to John Q this shit. I'm about to go up in here, and I need you to bail me out. And I need, like, 3 of my friends, I told them to get together, to get their money together, to get my husband to bail me out. Because I was about to set this shit off. Like, Queen Latifah from North, I was about to do it. At that time, my cousin, my mom, all of them started calling me. I thought they was calling me to calm me down, but they was calling me to tell me that Kyrie Irving had donated. So, I went. I think the guy is a snitch. Because they tried to offer him 5 years for a murder case, and then they offered him 12. I think he's a snitch. That's why they gave him the time they gave him for a murder, because he had a gun, and it was a murder case. And he got 12 years. That's neither here nor there. But I want to talk about the Atatiana Jefferson case and what they were saying about Johnny Cochran before I get off, because I can talk. In regards to Johnny Cochran, he is one in a million. I call my attorney Jackie Cochran because she's a bad mama. Shut your mouth, and she don't be caring about these crackers, and she be giving them the business. But I do want to say what somebody said. And I don't think it's necessarily true. When they say that there's no black people out here and these generations are not fighting, I'm going to have to disagree with that. I'm going to say there are black people out here who are fighting, who are standing up, but we don't own any of the news outlets. So they're not, but how we're fighting is not being publicized. Because you have, not even me in my case, is 2 other women who've got a lawsuit against an entire branch of government, but you don't know that. Somebody just sent me a video today of a case in Jersey. I sent it to you, Newstoter. A police officer who was the sergeant on the scene. He got, it was the person who was under him, had his knee on the neck of a female, a black female in New Jersey, in Hamilton Township. He got the person off, the white officer off, and he was fired.
By the way, y'all, Hamilton.
He was fired from his job because they said that he disobeyed his duties by getting that. He was set a bad precedence to the public, showing that he is not following the blue code by getting that white man off that black lady neck. And he was fired from his job. And he's now demanding attention brought to it. And he lost his job and all this other stuff. And he's fighting. There's other people who filed lawsuits, and like somebody said, let's use the law to do it. But you have to understand about the courts is based on white supremacy. Slavery was legal in the courts. Separate but equal was legal in the courts. So I feel as though we need to go another way, because being as though, again, I'm suing the courts in federal court for discrimination, and the only thing they want to do is shut me up. So going the way of the courts, that's one way to get it. But because they are founded on white supremacy, the media is founded on white supremacy, we don't owe none of the media. It's not by accident that any of the black people who are out here who are actually fighting, because Claude Anderson, like, the people not, no, Claude, they are, but we don't have any platforms to put it out there, what we're actually doing. So I
think real quick, sis, I think what Claude is talking about, he's not talking about just particular, he's talking about us as a whole, that we still haven't come to the idea of the group economics, that we still, as a people, we still haven't come to that idea. We still haven't started forming everything like we need to. After, he's kind of given the blueprint. He's wondering like, hey, how long are y'all going to wait? Are you just going to wait till you totally annihilate in this country? Because you already see how prices are going up on everything. You can't afford this. You can't afford that. You're getting squeezed out by all kind of political policies and different groups and stuff like that. When are y'all going to come together and start to build and start to actually accumulate and use that as a way to generate generational wealth for the next generation? So I think he's just worn out. He's an older man. Claude has got to be in his 80s, Dr. Claude, and he's just saying like, hey, what's going to happen to the next generation? He's like, I done told y'all that the amount of wealth that you have in this country is almost zilch. When are y'all going to come together? A few hundred of you, 1,000 of you, go ahead, take your dollars and put together and start buying property, start buying farmland, start making businesses and industries and stuff like that. Real estate, and start creating for that next generation. So I think he's just an older man, and he's tired. He's worn out, and like he's fought the good fight, and he's just like, hey, I just don't see it. He's like, I laid a blueprint out, and they're just not following. So peace to that elder.
I'm going to push back on that because I get what he's saying, but I do think it's happening. I just feel as though what people have to understand, we fighting again a tyrant government. This shit bigger than Nino Brown. It's like when you try to fight, you have to fight so much. That's why, like, okay, remember in the 60s when they killed all the black leaders and then people were scared to lead? It's literally, you have to fight so much. Where do you fight? How do you fight? People are fighting. You have people buying whole towns. You have people doing things and different things. I think it is being done. You have the Tiny Village by Brother Ben X. It's a lot of things that's being done. I just feel like because, again, we're separate. We're not, even though we have the internet, and the internet has brought us together a lot. Even when you get on certain platforms, you get censored. If you talk about Black Power or anything, okay, they shutting off. It took me forever just to be in here and not be shut off because they shutting you out. You go to Instagram, you Black Power, you getting blocked. You get on these social media platforms, it's like, so I get what you're saying, but I really feel like my people are resilient, are strong, and are doing a.
Yep, I think we might have lost you. You still there, Lie?
You're going in and out, so you're going in and out.
Exactly my point. That's the man. That's the white man. That's the white man trying to hold me down. I'm gonna land my plane, but y'all see, is we are doing it. I'm gonna speak into existence. We are doing it, but they be trying to hold us down.
As always, sister, glad to hear from you. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and work on that one thing. I'm gonna go ahead and send that off tonight as well too. So we're gonna go ahead and get you some more publicity and some attention to go ahead and further your case as well too. So also in the Jumbotron, y'all, we have the Newstoter YouTube channel on there. We have the actual newsletter. It's in there. I think it might be toward the right hand side, to the far right hand side, maybe the third one. So please go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, if you can support us on Cash App, it's $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you don't have a Cash App, we have the PayPal and Venmo also in the Jumbotron as well too. So any little bit that you have, please, it is more than welcome. Let me go ahead and kick it back to DJ. I see you got your hand up, so I'll let you.
I just want to say, Black pressure is a generational talent, or once in a while generational talent, or it's just black people ain't doing enough. I don't think we're doing enough because online she could be the next Thurgood Marshall. It'd be fun to, you know what I'm saying? Real shit. You know what I mean? Go ahead though.
Let's go ahead and kick it to Professor, and then we'll get back to you, Chase.
Yeah, I have to agree with Aunt Lai. I love to hear the sister get up in the space and say her piece because she brings the fire. And by the way, I love the book, so I just had to say that too.
And I too get the book allegedly in the jungle.
Yes. Everybody needs to try to get that book. Support Sister Aunt Lai right there. Support her by all means. Buy the book. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Okay. I sound like a commercial right now, but hey, that's all good. So I can help this sister get that book sold because it is very good. Also, let me give a shout out to the two sisters down there. My two favorites. Two of my favorites. That's Sister No Taxation down there, Sister Trouble down there. I see Sister Real Women down there. Sister I Am Reba. But y'all, getting back to what I outlined saying, we are doing stuff out here. We just don't have the media platform. And that's where Robert Johnson did a disservice to us. Because that was a big media platform we had with BET. That was one way to get stuff out. See, now when you sold off BET to the Caucasoids, how you gonna get anything out? You see this? You see that? They got that on lock now. It doesn't belong to us anymore. Even though they still got that BET logo up there, that shit don't belong to us. It belongs to Viacom. That's what they need to just change it to. Change it to Viacom. But that's what we got to have, y'all. Newstoter, he's doing his part to build up the platform he's got right now. And we got to help him do that. We got to help him. We got to continue to push to help this brother get this thing bigger than ever, y'all. Like I always say, bigger than Nino, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep pushing Newstoter up so we can get him bigger than Nino Brown. That way we'll have another huge platform for our people to get the word out to the world about what's going on with our people. And also for our people to understand what's going on within the country, in the different states that's going on with our people. We need to make sure we keep Newstoter with much money, much funding. Okay? As much as we can. We need to try to push that money to him so he can continue to build up. That's what we got to do, y'all. Then we got to continue to push money to build up other things. You know,
build up that social, get that social rolling.
Yes, there you go. We got to get that social rolling. We got to practice the group economics. Newstoter just talked to y'all about that, what Dr. Claude Anderson was saying. And we haven't been listening for years, y'all. Our people have never listened to this. All we have done is continue to give money to other communities, and it has come back to bite us in our asses. Okay? We got to practice the group economics amongst the Black American freedmen. That's what we have to do. And one of the other things, too, y'all, that we got to do is make sure that we support any of our people that are being attacked. Like what's going on with Sister Tanisha.
Professor, I came up here to give you a 1-2 punch, right? I'm gonna land my plane, but I'm gonna let you finish. Go on.
Anyway, Sister Tanisha.
You're in trouble now, son.
I see I am. She came out of nowhere, y'all. But my brother completely
Brother triple. You want to salt?
But anyway, but we got to support our sisters like the Sister Tanisha. Whenever because she's being attacked right now, her family's being attacked. Any of our people that's being attacked, man, we got to get in there and support them as much as we can. And so I land my plane there, but I want to just say everybody just continue to support each other, continue to build on what we're doing with Newstoter so we can build up his platform, and let's get on social so we can get the hell off this damn white man shit.
Real talk. I'm gonna get to you real quick, Reed. Let me see, Judge Sarah, are you ready to speak now?
No, I'll go next, like a couple, maybe 2-3 more.
Okay.
I'm running errands. I want to stop and talk. Okay.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
No problem, sister. We'll get back to you. Chase, I'm gonna let go. I'm gonna let One Love Black, better known as Ree, I'm gonna let her go ahead and since she's a new speaker, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get back to you, Chase. I want to give a shout out. I see Dana, she's up in the listener part. So Dana, shout out to her. If you guys have not, please go ahead and subscribe to her YouTube channel. The Real Dana, you can catch her with Judge Joe Brown. They're on daily. So go ahead and subscribe to that sister's YouTube channel. It is a great YouTube channel. Her and Judge Joe Brown have a great rapport. Judge is in rare form when he's with her as well, too. So just to see them going back and forth is always a good thing. They have great topics as well, too. So go ahead and subscribe to that sister's YouTube channel as well, too. Rhea, I see you up in the spot. I know you sometimes just be chilling for a little bit before you come up, but I'm glad to have you in the spot tonight. I know you probably have something to say about this Atatiana Jefferson and also the grandma. I don't know if he was in there for about the 82-year-old grandma that got arrested for not paying the trash bill, but it's always good to have you up in the spot. So go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Hey, Newstoter, Ray, and DJ. You know, it's always good to come up in here. You know, y'all my mans is 50 mans is grand. I gotta shout out all the men, shades professors, especially the elders in the room, original, and Black Pressure. He ain't not an elder, but hey, Black Pressure.
Thank you, Sister Willa. Hey, look at here. Next time you come up in here early, so you late.
You know what? Listen. You know I'm normally in here with y'all holding it down, right? Trying to get on that special report for Newstoter. So listen, I was in Dana's Space, and Dana's Space was fire. Okay. I think that was my second time being in her space because normally I don't stay. I come into Newstoter space. But listen, it was fire. I got on stage. She is definitely a host to be reckoned with. She is no holds barred. Just I think, and this is not to kind of like fan out, but really just to say we need people like Dana, Newstoter, all of us in spaces where we are lending our intellect and we're giving people, a common ground to gravitate to. Even on live, I've heard on live in different spaces. Shout out to live in No Tech Station. So I'm gonna say this quickly. The grandmother who was arrested, we definitely should be up in arms because there are cases that are happening where they're actually removing our elders out of homes to actually steal their property. Because if they default on certain like taxes or they're not able to pay certain things, like what they arrested her for, the state can come in and they normally sometimes even utilize social services too. So I have uncovered that and I have some information on that. The other thing is with the Atatiana Jefferson's case, it's hard. It's really sad because her parents passed away. And I know. I'm not sure. Quote me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it's a sister or no. It's a sister or cousin. I couldn't remember. There's someone still fighting for who?
Her father.
So her father is still alive? I thought he passed away.
Her father passed away.
Right. But there's someone still fighting on the case. I have to go back and get it. I didn't have time to, gather myself when I came in. But I will say that it's a real shame that it took this long for them to even start to work on the case yet again and bring police officers in front of a judge for sentencing or anything. They're allowing these police officers who are committing these heinous crimes to stay out with their families, get themselves attorneys, get prepared, get ready to go to court, whereas they're not even doing that for for the victims. They're not doing that, right? And I think we really have to go and get into a point where we are really now getting to the groundwork and finding out what is going on with these cases. And I think developing organizations that specifically work on looking at what's going on in the courts, different cases that are coming up in the courts, and figuring out what's happening with them if they are, Black American, and actually getting them highlighted. And I think that, to me, is also part of the groundwork. And we have to help be the voice for the voiceless, especially people who have passed away, because the same thing happened to the young man up in New York that died, and his mom died, that Jay-Z was helping, Khalif Browder.
Yeah, Khalif Browder.
Yeah. So, we have so many cases. We got, there's so many names imprinted in the back of my mind that it's almost like a nightmare. And we really need to help bring those back and resurface to light, because what I feel like society keeps doing, because impunity is still a thing, is they're using murder during the election. It seems like every time an election cycle comes about, all of a sudden you start seeing all these killings happening. Just heinous killings from cops and people being shot in the head, I mean, they're laying people down. So we need to get on top, and people are disappearing also. So I'm gonna put it out there. If anything ever happened to me, I didn't do it. So y'all better fight. Y'all better fight like the devil, because I ain't do it. So, and that's on record.
Oh, it's Atatiana's sister that's still fighting. Her
Okay,
sister,
that's what I thought it was.
Amber Carr. Yeah,
Okay.
Amber Carr's her name.
Yes, and we definitely need to get behind Tanisha. I got to speak with her earlier today. She is a beautiful soul. She is tired, and I'm gonna do all that I can. She is in my state. Shout out to the 757. And I'm gonna do all that I can with the little that I have, and I just suggest everybody do the same. So, Newstoter, you let me know when you know you need that special report.
I will do, sister. I definitely will do that. And let me know whenever you're ready to do that special report too, because we can always send to have more news people as well too. So you let me know whenever you're ready. You got something that you're ready to go on, just let me know.
Hey, can I go now?
Yeah, you got it, Judge. Go ahead.
Thank you. And you know what?
The judge is up in here. Hey, Judge.
What's up, people? Listen, let me tell y'all. I can't just tell y'all. I love y'all so much. And y'all don't even know how y'all feel my heart. What's the sister's name who just said, the argument? Is that you? What you said about the elderly lady who they put her in jail about her trash, and you said how they take their property? That might be the nature of why they did that to her. And we need to find out her full name, who she is, and keep an eye on her. What I wanted to respond to was a couple of things. I've been listening for a minute. Y'all were talking about Johnny Cochran, and y'all said that there's no more good attorneys like Johnny Cochran. And I hate to tell y'all, there's black brilliance all in this country. In terms of the attorneys, they can turn things around for us, but they're choosing not to. In the case of Ben Crump, Lee Merritt, they always address these cases from an angle where they prosper, but they don't create change for black people. And I've said this a couple of times. Y'all know I'm building a black party. America has broken their promise to black people under the 14th Amendment. We are not equal. They never, and I don't want to bore you all, but I want to give you guys some information so you understand what's happening. These attorneys know what to do and how to do it. And I think part of it is this is how they make their money. And I think the second part is they're kind of afraid to stick their neck out because they're not so sure they're going to get the right support. And I'm just going to give you some examples. In the case of Breonna Taylor, that was a no-knock warrant, okay? And what we do is we don't look at the crime intelligently. In the case of Breonna Taylor, that's a racial thing. What you do is you look at the past 3-4 years of no-knock warrants, and you see the percentage of these no-knock warrants are in black neighborhoods. Okay, it's the thing. What is it? The police have the protection. What is it? Immunity. Some type of immunity. What's it called, you guys? Absolute immunity.
Qualified immunity, Judge.
Qualified immunity. The purpose of that is to protect police officers in the case of accidentally harming someone in the course of doing their job. So it's to protect them. But civil rights violations, hate crime violations, discriminating against black people, qualified immunity does not come into play in that regard. And I'm saying this to you, and I'm so sorry. I want to say it in a way where you guys will get it. I'm building a black party. I'm going to create a website, join the black party, and I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to go to law school because I want to tell y'all there's lawyers out here, and they know what to do. I don't know why they're not addressing these issues intelligently in a way that's going to protect us. I want to give you multiple examples. The kid, Amir Locke, how they murdered him. Okay, each time they address these issues, they don't make it about black. If y'all ever pay attention, they never make it about race, but it's always about race. You have to test the system. You have to put, like in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, they test the system for what is it? Forgive me, you guys. I forget because I'm excited. What was it? How did he win from self-defense? So in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, he got away because they had a defense for self-defense, correct? So that created a precedent for self-defense, okay? But the truth of the matter is, him having the weapon was illegal. The judge...
Stand your ground, Judge. It's a stand your ground law.
Okay, that's what it is, whatever. Okay, but so they did that. The purpose, and the judge is a party to it, did it to create precedent. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's never... I'm still researching this. These are things that I'm researching every day and trying to find out. There's never precedents for us, for Black people. Oftentimes we see when we know, hey, that was racist. The attorney never makes it about race. The attorney never says this is a violation of their 14th Amendment. This happened to this person because they're Black. In the case of was it Khalif Browder? They put him in prison and they checked his bag with a stop and frisk. He didn't steal anything. Are you guys following? And forgive me, my heart is racing because I get excited, because I get angry. Because it's really not that complicated. It's simple if you understand the law. The attorneys that we have, civil rights attorneys, they're not doing or addressing these cases, presenting their case in court in a way that's going to protect us. You understand? Am I making sense? They're not presenting the case saying, hey, this happened because that person was Black. Are they doing it because they're afraid they're not going to win? Or are they continuing to do so? I have a real issue with Ben Crump. Ben Crump knows me. I'm a victim of the hate crime by the state of California. Okay? Ben Crump knows me really very well. And I engage with him on social. The part about Amir Locke, okay, do y'all remember Amir Locke was the guy that they came in, busted, and they killed him, they shot him, like within 2 seconds he was on a sofa with his pistol and he was asleep. Y'all remember that? So that was never charged. They never charged them for that. What you have to do is you have to go and look at the records. You have to pull public records. How many no-knock warrants in this state in the past 2 years? Then you look at the percentage in Black neighborhoods. So they're rubber stamping no-knock warrants amongst Black people. And I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. It's not just in the case of no-knock warrants. It's in many cases where they are discriminating against us. In the case of the elderly lady where they put her in jail, you pull the records and you say, how many people have been pulled to court for not paying their water bill? When you look, we're a very small percentage of the country. I think we're more than what they say. We're at least 20%. If you look at the numbers, the statistics can say how many people had a warrant for not paying their water bill. And then you look at the numbers, you guys, it's always going to be more Black people. Because America has spoken their promise to Black people under the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment says that we are equal. They had asked the 14th Amendment when they freed us from slavery. And the purpose of the 14th Amendment was to make sure that we are equal. And I don't understand if y'all really receive what I'm saying. The biggest issue is that we're not equal in this country. And we do need reparation in the form of restitution, but we need repair. We need legal protection under the 14th Amendment. We need an update to the Constitution, and it has to be specific in protecting us, if that makes sense. I hope you guys get that. This is my journey, and I know it's going to be a long journey. It's going to take me a minute, and I know the more I say it to you, the more you guys are going to understand. Yes, we do need restitution. Yes, we do need money, reparations in the form of money. But look what they do when we have money, when we have things. They still bring us harm through the law. And that's why we have to have the law changed. So I think that's all I want to say about land. Yeah, I appreciate you, Newstoter.
No problem. Always, Judge. Glad to have you up in the space. DJ, did you have your hand up earlier? I can't remember or not.
Nah, but go ahead though. What we want to talk?
Okay, I couldn't remember if you had your hand up in the space.
I was just asking Black press, is it really generational talent, that once in a blue moon talent, like a Malcolm X and Martin, you know what I mean, a Mega Evers or whatever the case be, or is it just Black people ain't doing enough? Kind of feel like we ain't doing enough, man, because I feel like the talent is out there. we just don't support it like that. You know what I mean? But we could find our own, Thurgood Marshalls and Johnny Cochrans. I think that shit is easy. But you expecting these folks that is already, taking their own time to go to school on their own accord. Everybody sleep right now. Ain't nobody thinking about fighting nobody, bro. So they going to school to to be a lawyer for whatever reason they want to be a lawyer. It ain't got nothing to do with no civil rights. Them days is over with, according to black people.
I see.
I say on that one, man, we agree to agree. I think it's what I pointed out that God does make people very special people every so often, but also too, you're correct, is we do definitely need to roll up our sleeves more. So you are correct about that.
Hey, real
Real quickly on that, you guys, and I'm so sorry. I just want to say this to you, to the room. I know it seems like it's not working in our favor, but there's good people who want the best from us, and I know that because you're in the room with us now. And it's going to happen. Everything happens in divine order. And I know just because of our condition, we think negatively and we think the worst. Y'all don't understand. I struggle with this shit every day. But the old me who was not harmed knows that I have purpose. And I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it seems like it's hard and people ain't for us. But I come in these spaces and I see too many of y'all who are for us. And what I want to say, and I'm so sorry for always going ham Newstoter, but you guys need to understand that this country is a democracy. And we keep looking for one person. It ain't going to be one person. It's the people. That's why we are the people, the Black Party. We are the people. America is built on democracy. That is the people run the country. We are the people. So not one person is going to free us. We going to free us. I'm a land there. I appreciate it.
Hey, real quick, I see I got my girl Black Native up in here. Black Native, if you want to say something, sister, you can go ahead and say something. You may just be chilling or whatever, but I always enjoy hearing you hearing your 2 cents when you open up your mic. But if you just want to chill tonight, I understand that as well too. Sometimes people just want to chill and just take in what's what. So we got Professor with his hands up, and we got B more with his hands up. We're not going to keep the space open too much longer. DJ, you going to be doing a space tonight, or you going to be chilling tonight?
It's whatever the people want.
That's a late night crew. You got it.
Part two.
Yeah, you be having him and Reed.
We got one contestant. Two more.
Yeah, that's a.
Sister Villa missed most of the first one, so she'll probably want that part too.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to call me out, Professor. Okay, I'm not the one in trouble. Don't let me get trouble on you.
Hey, real quick, Rella, that profile picture of yours, because I know you be switching up all the time. Where do you get that profile picture there from?
This is a picture of mine that I actually did an AI on.
Oh, okay.
This is my actual face.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I like that. Hey, Professor, go ahead.
Y'all, I'm just gonna say with Judge, because Judge, she's very passionate. Yes, she is. She's very passionate. That's why I love to hear when she come up here, because she brings it, don't she? But from what I'm understanding from the Judge, y'all, basically when we are looking at these racist incidents, because that's what they are, we got to start recording and researching the demographics. And demographics, of course, is how many Black people have been arrested for this and that.
Domestic terrorist incidents.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So we got to start recording who's being affected by what they're doing, mainly to who, and break it down from there. Because most likely it's going to come down to is mainly us that's being affected. And let's just break it down. That's how it is. So therefore, like the grandmother in Valley, Alabama, most likely it's other Black people that have been affected by that the same way she has. I'm pretty sure there's not a single white person in Valley, Alabama that has been impacted by that. Okay? So that's what the Judge is coming from, y'all. We got to keep statistics. That's what that comes down to. What we know about the white man's system is they understand money, they understand power, but they also like to look at statistics. If you notice, they love to put out statistics about who's doing what, right? They always put out statistics about where black people tend to do this. We tend to have this. We tend to have more heart attacks. We tend to do all these robberies. You notice how they always break them statistics down when it comes to us, right? So that's what we have to start doing too, y'all. We got to keep statistics on things that we see happening with our.
Hey, DJ, real fast, because I know Black Native is gonna go and be more codified. So Chris Lodgen is actually he's on doing the California reparations reading. So I am gonna dip out. Don't be mad, but I'll be over for the part 2. Okay.
All right, sister. We'll see you there. And we're not gonna go much longer. I'm probably gonna let Black Native go. And then we're going to let DJ go. I'm going to and then close the space out. So, Black Native, sister, glad to have you up in the space.
Since Rilla fell out of the room, she ain't going to hear this. We ain't having no space since you cheating on me with Chris. You going to come over there like, where everybody at? Nope. You went over with Chris. You chose Chris.
You know what else too, DJ? It's not like news was simping a few seconds ago. I'm just saying.
Hey. Oh. What? Hey, Black Pressure. What Joe did she say? Got you fiending up in here? No, because she be switching the pictures up. Like I just saw the picture. I'm like, what she got this one here from? Because I know she had it a couple of days ago. But hey, the sister look nice on the picture. I be telling the sisters, hey, you look nice on her and whatnot. Black Native look nice on hers. I mean, she got a serious look. But hey, I'm not hitting on the sisters. I'm just being real. I'm just, hey, you look nice. You look nice. I ain't sliding nobody DMs or nothing like that. I'm just stating it how it is. But anyways, Black Native, you go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Okay, Newstoter. We caught the P. We caught the little flirting. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. What's up, Newstoter, Ray, DJ, Miss Judge, Miss No Taxation, if she's still in here. Peace to the room. Peace and reparations. My phone is jacked up. That's why I don't think I really talk too much anymore. Until I get in the phone.
Hey, look.
Speak on this topic.
I'm going to tell you, like I saw y'all better upgrade.
Atatiana Jefferson, that's the sister that was babysitting her nephew, and a cop shot her through the window. Was this like around 2018 this happened, 2019? When did this, no, matter of fact, no. When did this happen? Wasn't this in...
Yeah, it's about
how long ago was this? Is that the Atatiana Jefferson? Is that the case?
Yeah, that's it.
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Oh Lord, don't tell me the phone. Can you hear us, Black Native? Oh Lord, we done lost Black Native.
I keep telling y'all, you online, you janky phones. Y'all can want to blame Twitter though. Which are 1985 long phones.
We got the Miami Vice phones.
I can't hear anybody.
She can't. That's some flip phones.
Have some prepared for justice, y'all, because we got to get these new phones. We got to have some prepared for justice.
Hey, that's what I be telling folks. As soon as I get my reparations, buy you a new phone, man. I don't care. Phones for everybody, yo. Phones for everybody. You get a new phone and you get a new phone, Oprah. You know what I mean?
Hey, look here. These two, now look, room, I want y'all to notice something. It's two ladies up in here that we normally would hear from, and they haven't bought no fire so far. They might bring it in part 2 though, but I'm talking about them two right there. The sister No Taxation and the sister Trouble, y'all. Have y'all noticed they being quiet over here tonight?
Let us go.
Doing that homework though, she got. I know Sister Tack got some homework.
We gonna go ahead. I'm I'm gonna let no taxation or anybody speak real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and close it out so DJ can go ahead and get this second one started. I want to come up in there for a little bit myself as well too. So, no taxation. You want to say something real quick, sister, before we start up that second space?
I do, and I'm gonna come to the second space because guess what? I got my work done on time today, so I am very pleased with my own self. I want to make sure that everybody in the room knows that we're going to have a rally in 2023, Juneteenth reparations rally in 2023, and everyone that is for lineage-based reparations for us is invited. If you're not for lineage-based reparations, just don't bother to come. That's the bottom line. And I wanted to make sure that that was said because a little bit we put the cart before the horse, but you have to roll with what you got. And we're all Black in America, and we need to have our voices heard. And the only way to do it is to go to the Hill and let those people know we're here, we're in your face. What y'all gonna do? Because we don't know what the next step might be. If they're putting handcuffs on our 3, 4, and 5-year-old children and our 82-year-old Black women, we have a very real problem in America. Okay? That means everybody is fair game. And we got to let them know. This not only is it unacceptable, but it's something that we refuse to accept. And we don't know, we can't even tell them what the next step is. We don't know what the next step might be because everybody is a ticking time bomb at this point. And so I just want to make sure that everybody knows, come to the rally. And I'll see y'all in the part 2.
Real quick, let me give a shout out to Iron Malt as well too. Iron Malt, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Black Native, how's your connection right now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Black Native? I know her phone has. I'm a mute.
Yes, I can hear you, Newstoter. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I didn't know. I keep hearing. I don't know what's going on. Now, with Atatiana Jefferson, is that the sister that was babysitting her nephew? And they came in, shot her through the window around 2:30 at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
She was playing video games with her nephew.
Yeah, that's her.
That's the case. Okay, so they're finally getting around to this case. When did that happen? Was that in what?
2019.
3 years ago. I remember the case, and I was always wondering what happened with that case. So finally, they're getting around to the case, and as usual, like white supremacy, they never miss a beat. They never change their stripes. They do the same thing repeatedly over and over and over again. I'm not surprised that there's no Black people on this jury. What state was she from?
Texas.
And okay, what does she live in was this a Black community where this happened?
I'm not sure. I know it's in Fort Worth.
Okay, so I assume it's Black people that live in Fort Worth. So they couldn't find any Black jurors at the time. So that tells you all you need to know. Now we can't sleep on some white people who might have a conscience and know what he did was unlawful. But if we have a couple, he might not do no real jail time. Just like with the sister that walked in on it and killed the guy that was eating ice cream. I think she got like 4 years. And they try to make it look like, oh well, we did something. That's not enough when you're murdering on people. And like the judge said, we do need attorneys. We don't just need Ben Crump and Lee Merritt, who I call ambulance chasers. I mean, they're not. They're just basically civil rights attorneys. I don't even think they're like defense attorneys or anything. So they're in it, to get the family money and to collect money themselves. But don't sleep on these young Black attorneys that's coming out of law school. A lot of them, I would say, need to do pro bono work. See, I graduated from John Jay College in criminal justice. That's in New York. I was studying to be an attorney, but I just got my bachelor's. I didn't complete it. But that was my goal. But you still have a lot of young Black attorneys out here, and especially if they see what's going on in their neighborhoods. So, and a lot of them could do pro bono work as well. So I hope that, you know, social media or, you know, just them picking up, because sometimes they'll give you a case and you'll do pro bono work for free. So I hope that, you know, a lot of these young sisters and brothers who are coming out of law school take on some of these cases, because this is not only a civil rights violation, it's a human rights violation. And I don't know for the life of me why Black Americans, why we haven't decided to go sue the United States government and take it to the UN for human rights violations. Our human rights, our human existence on this planet is being targeted. And with the 82-year-old woman, it's sad, it's pathetic, but they did the same thing in Brooklyn. We had an area called Bedford-Stuyvesant. Everybody knows, you know where Jay-Z and Biggie is from. That community, it was all Black Americans, and they owned brownstone houses, which are worth millions now. Guess how they got the homes from the people? They didn't pay their water tax, and that's how they were snatching up people's properties. So yeah, we might want to look more into this woman, the 82-year-old woman that they arrested, which is disgusting, and find out what's really the real reason why, you know, they're trying to get her out of her home, and where is her family? I know she has to have grandchildren and great grandchildren, but I know damn well they would never do that to a white woman. We even got to go there. We already know how they treat us. They don't respect the old, nor do they show favor to the young. And this is what we've been dealing with in this country since we've been here, since they brought they funky asses over here. We've been dealing with this problem. And, you know, I don't know what is it going to take. Like DJ said, we're not mad enough. We're really not. I don't know how long I can't stand a stomach to watch any more of these, I call them, I don't know, murder porn, where they're constantly abusing and murdering our people. I can't take it anymore. It's like as soon as I watch it, if I know that it's going to be something severe, I turn from it because I can't watch it. And that's a psychological thing. They're trying to instill fear in us psychologically. That's why they constantly show us being murdered on television all the time. They'll say viewers' discretion is advised. Warning, but they're going to show it anyway because this is what they want to do. This is what they've been doing. And, you know, it's a sad state of affairs. I hope that Atatiana Jefferson, her family, I think you said her father died. The professor said her sister is still fighting. I hope she gets the justice that she deserves, and that they throw that piece of trash and that piece of garbage behind bars for at least 40 years. They did it to R. Kelly, and he ain't murdered that one person. So, you know, we need to get some justice. We really need to get some justice. And I don't want to see nobody in her family being interviewed talking about they forgive. I hope we pass that forgiveness stage. I hope if they start offering the money, then they get on that mic and they talking about, well, you know, we do, you know, we got forgiveness in our heart, and, you know, we just want the community. I don't want to hear no more of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and land my plane. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And Newstoter, it ain't nothing wrong with flirting with beautiful women up there. Don't be shy.
Here y'all go. Here y'all go.
Hey, but news ain't no player though. You did it too out in the open, man. You know, holler at me, though. Like we will talk.
Pippin ain't dead, son. Pippin ain't dead.
Whatever. Anyways, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to go to this second space. And Ray, and I know you be going early like me sometimes, so at least you go to this second space. You can come in there for a few minutes up in there. So we go ahead and DJ, go ahead and get the space, go ahead and line up and whatnot. And hey, yeah, all right. Like, I mean, this thing with Atatiana Jefferson, this was a few years ago, and now it's finally getting a trial and stuff, and they're trying everything they can to sweep it underneath the rug. And then we got, like I said, we had the elder. She was arrested for a trash bill or whatnot, just nonsense and stuff like that. But we're gonna keep this rolling. We're gonna go right into DJ's late night space. Black Native, I know you're gonna be up in there too, and no taxation. And everybody else, y'all come up in there for a little bit, even if y'all can't stay late and whatnot. I know it's getting late or whatever. That's why I want to go ahead so we can go ahead and get most of y'all up in the space just for a little bit. Even if you got to go do something else, you can just chill for a little bit. I'm gonna come up in that space in a second too. I got something to do, but I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. Ray, DJ, y'all want to say something real quick before we go ahead and close the space out, or y'all ready just to go ahead and start up the other one?
I got two things before we close out the space. The first one, the FBI released files this week on the murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996, revealing that the Jewish Defense League was suspected of extorting money from various rap stars via death threats, including Tupac and other performers like Eazy-E. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, don't forget that tomorrow is the Georgia Senate runoffs with Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock.
Oh yeah, I ain't forgot. I don't think none of us forgot on that one there, but nice reporting there, Ray. DJ, you got something you want to say before we go ahead and get to your space?
Hey, we agree to agree. Let's continue on with the method. So I'll be over here setting up the space. On that note, let's just move on.
Real talk, y'all. When y'all see DJ send out a notification, y'all go ahead and definitely retweet it out and come on up in the space and let's start a dialogue and discussion and get that going. What's up, Ray?
One last thing. What is going on with Gabrielle Union? I've been seeing she's been trending all day, and her and like Boots have been going back and forth.
I heard something about them going back and forth, but that's something we can discuss in other space too. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know. I don't know exactly what they was going on. It might be about Dwayne Wade's son too. Like I know they Boosie always say something about that as well too. So
that's what it's about.
Okay.
She shot at him first. That's what it's about.
Okay.
I seen you talking about Dwayne Wade. We doing all this gay stuff. Oh Lord, what is going on? I'll say that from this space.
I think she told Bootsy like you always got like penis on your mind or something like that.
Yeah, they talking about the LGBT and the B stand for Bootsy.
Yeah. Well, we definitely got to talk about that in this other space. Real quick, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this down. And we're gonna go ahead and get ready for the late night space. So I hope to go ahead and see most of you guys there. Like I said, if you can, just stop by for a little bit. Let's keep the dialogue going. We can talk about this and on top of everything. And DJ space is always pretty much an open mic, open conversation. So anything that's worth talking about, you go ahead and bring it up. Once again, thank everybody for coming out to the space. Appreciate you guys so much. The speakers, the listeners, everybody who tweeted out, everybody who contributed on Cash App or PayPal or whatever. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you. And we're going to be hitting up DJ Space in a second. So see y'all guys there. Everybody have a good night for those who don't come as well, too.
All right, y'all. Part 2, man. We're going to bring it.
Come on over, y'all. I'm tweeting out the space. Come on over.
All right. Go ahead and all in one y'all phone. I know I'm at the all in one my phone, too. So.
Right. Oh, yeah. For sure. I'll see y'all in 60 seconds.
All right. Peace, y'all.